this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed, all the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say, I don't push pause, no I push play, I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make, I turn flaws into flawless traits, I build tall, never capped in space, I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again, I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend, that's right, in the AM that's my only friend, no light, just the sun coming up on the horizon, I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb, a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines, and I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes, you snooze half the time while I move passing by, I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say, I don't push pause, no I push play, I won't stop till I make a change, I withdraw on the things I make, I turn flaws into flawless traits, I build tall, never capped in space, I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. In my veins, I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed, all the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say, I don't push pause, no I push play, I won't stop till I make a change, I withdraw on the things I make, I turn flaws into flawless traits, I build tall, never capped in space, I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again, I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend, that's right, in the AM that's my only friend, no light, just the sun coming up on the horizon, I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb, a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines, and I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes, you snooze half the time while I move passing by, I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say, I don't push pause, no I push play, I won't stop till I make a change, I withdraw on the things I make, I turn flaws into flawless traits, I build tall, never capped in space, I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. Man, I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. Man, I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I...
Yes, good people, big up to all of you, and thank you once again for finding the time to be with me on the show, on the Blue Morning Show, this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show on Chelsea Perspective. More importantly, I do hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to join, and I'm happy to say good morning, and good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. Today we'll talk about the possibility of Romelu Lukaku returning to Chelsea, the final season of Thiago Silva, and some comments from the manager, and then we'll get to the match a preview exercise, Chelsea's away game against Arsenal in the Premier League. We'll talk about that, and then we'll predict the lineup. So once again, thank you for finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Yes, thank you to all of you once again for finding the time to join me on today's edition of the Blue Morning Show. I hope you're all doing well. We don't have too much lined up to talk about. Some of them are just news reports. Some reports that I'll just read out to you, express my opinion and my opinion on that particular topic. And if you have any other panelists at the time, I'd ask them if they have something to add, and we'll move on from it. The aim is to get to the match preview exercise as soon as possible. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it without wasting much of your time. And the first person in the house today, Namaya Fawale. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. He said, Coach, it will be difficult. I don't see how we win. That's the sort of game that I usually confident that we get a good result from. What sort of good result? I don't know, but let's see it happen. We've done well against the tabletop topping teams. I think you could argue Yeah, all of them. Name them, and I'll say what. When we'll talk about which of the name one of the games you say against the big boys that you say that we didn't play well. We played well against them, and Arsenal. As much as we'd like to say, yeah, but truthfully, we're the biggest club in London, but they've been doing better than us. And the case has always been if Arsenal, if they've won 999 games and they have to play us in their 1000th attempt, usually they lose. Usually they falter, and the case is vice versa for us. So now they're the better team. So given that, you can say that excuse that I referenced that has got me hoping for a good result. I think we'll get a good result out of the game. What sort of good result? I do not know. No Parma, no Gusto. We have finished Heston. It may well be I don't know whether to say blessing in disguise. I think we still do well. Maybe you see more effort from the rest of the team and not be looking for Parma every time that we are on the ball. But Nemanja, nice to see you. I hope this ends in a draw. So I am predicting a 2-2 draw, and that's Michael Zakaria. Wow, okay, 2-2 draw wouldn't be a good one. Wouldn't be a bad result, which means they'll be dropping 2 points. So yeah. And that's Chelsea FC Jingles. Jude Mesole, the CEO of Chelsea FC Jingles, is in the house. Oladi Pupo Mesole, my bro. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Sorry, I didn't return your call. I wasn't able to return your call on Sunday. It was a very tight day for me, plus somewhat going on at home. Plus, I was out. I was at an event at the time. I'm quite sure you could sense that was the case when you called me because the background was noisy. But more importantly, nice to see you here, brother. I appreciate you. And Jay is in the house. Jay, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. I cannot thank you enough for always joining whenever you can. And we have Patrick Joyce. Patrick is in the house. He says, "Hi, Coach. There's two derbies taking place. The other one is Everton versus Liverpool, the Merseyside derby. Okay, hope Chelsea can beat Arsenal tonight for a possibility to play European football next season. Joyce, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you for finding the time to join the show this particular morning. I nearly lost my voice at an event. I'm quite sure you can sense that yourselves, but I was able to take some remedies to get it under control. I feel some pain while I speak, but I think other than that, I think I'm all right. But thank you for that, Coach. Did you see Palmer is ill and Gusto injured? Yep, we'll talk about that in a bit. Gusto, chances are he'd play. I don't know, but we'll find out. And Kunku, if we're going by what we're seeing, you can say what we're seeing from the training pictures released a day ago or so, maybe he's ready to play. I do not know, honestly. How can we win today? We'll talk about that in a bit. I'll highlight this. That's a good question. We'll highlight that. I think it's important we play with balance. I wouldn't even mind us sucking up the pressure from Arsenal and hitting them on a break, but that's also in itself, it's a huge risk because they have potent attackers that if they get a chance, they take it. They hardly miss. I'm not sure how else to phrase that. So we have to play with balance, near perfect balance, maybe. Attack and at the same time be cautious defensively because they are capable of exploiting any spaces and behind careless spaces because there will always be spaces. So I have to be more specific there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Right now, we have a total of 12 likes and we're just 18 minutes into the show. That's a good sign, but I think we can do much, much better than 12 likes. Let's see if we can get it to 100 likes today by the time the show ends. I think we can, but this is a 2 hours plus show. So yeah, let's see. We've been finding it difficult to get to 100, but YouTube Shorts have been getting us 100 plus. Yep. But as by the way, let's start addressing the items we have lined up here. The first item here, quoting Mauricio Pochettino, says his players must show they are Chelsea Football Club, not Cole Palmer Football Club. And I think the same goes for him. the players, yep, they have to show that, and him as the manager, he has to show that he has a solution that beyond besides Cole Palmer, he can get all the players to play. He can, again, in the absence of Cole Palmer, he can get the team to play as a unit to get a result. In the absence of Cole Palmer, otherwise, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I don't think it will not. It will not. It's not a good look for him. That's the term I've been looking for. It will not be a good look for him if the team cannot perform in the absence of Cole Palmer. I get it. People will bring up the question, but it's obvious that he's the best player we have right now. But the manager should be able to get the team to play in his absence. That's something he should be prepared for. And not just try to find a solution in its absence already. But that highlights the importance of every now and then giving important players a rest and giving other players opportunities, because things happen. Let's see what else we have here from Patrick Joyce here, who says, I also heard that England is still have a chance of getting that extra Champions League spot if Aston Villa wins all 3 remaining games in the Conference League. Okay, I'm not well acquainted with what situation leads to a country or a league having a certain number of slots in the in European competition. But thank you for that update there. I appreciate that. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 30 people following the show, 16 on YouTube. 50% of that you can argue on X. And if you're following the show on X, be sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you do that, we do a giveaway monthly for our members who are students to support them. But you're not going to be able to participate if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if that makes sense. Plus, the post split fixtures are for the Scottish Premier League are in. Okay, Celtic will be at home in the final day against St. Is that Mirren or Myron? While the final Old Firm is on May 11th. Okay, Heston, if you want such an update, to pay attention to Patrick Joyce's contributions in the chat. Believe me, I think he has current updates, and I think you enjoyed them. All right, Bobby, nice to see you. I can't wait to have you on the panel. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Anything else? Saying that's a question from Michael Zakaria saying, do you think the players have checked out after the City game? When you say checked out, what do you mean? Like the season, they're done for the season? I think I'm more inclined to believe that you mean that they're done for the season. I would say no. I would say no. If anything, we'll get a reaction today. But I think the manager, he has to be he has to be, you can say we have to turn it up a notch today. We have to turn it up a notch tactically, selection-wise and everything, player application and performance, whatever you want to call it. We have to turn things up a notch to get a good result today, because Arsenal, they are a well-oiled team and we're not. They press more as a unit than we do, and chances are, if we're what's the language I'm looking for? If we make silly mistakes in our box or close to our box, they make the most of it. If that makes sense. You keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And the metaphor is saying the way Jackson missed all the chances, maybe he wants a punch gun. I don't reason like that. Missing that many chances, if anything, it's just the questions will be directed at him and not the manager, because the manager will select the players to start the game, discuss his preferred approach with the game with the players, and application up to the player, application execution up to the players and not the manager. So if he does that, I think a lot of the people will know, and that would be, in my opinion, a career-ending mistake. For lack of a better term. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with GFC. Gavin, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. And again, I hope you are doing well. GFC is the command I'm looking for. Did I get it right? I hope so. But thank you for finding the time to join us. I've push Nightbot to share the link to your YouTube channel so people to go check it out. I'm going to be watching the game tonight. Okay. Hope Chelsea can get a good result. I hope we get a good result too. People, if you're following the show, go and check out GSC Gavin's YouTube channel. Subscribe. Let's help him get monetized as soon as possible. We're selfless here because the more we grow as a unit, as YouTube content creators, the more we help others grow, the more we can help the club grow its fan base. And yeah, that's why we're selfless. Let's see what else we have here. 2-2 draw. Nehemiah Fowler thinks will be the result. But that's, by the way, this comment, as I said, same goes for the manager, not just the player. He has to prove that without Cole Palmer, he can still get the team to get a good result. And I think it will be. Hopefully, the Arsenal players will come into the game with the mindset that, yeah, we don't have Cole Palmer and that's it. They're winning. I hope so. Jackson is your Solomon Kalou. Can have good moments as well as frustrating ones. He's still 21. I think Jackson, he has more to his game than Solomon Kalou. I think he will achieve a lot at Chelsea, but we need to be patient with him and understand that he's still very young and understand that he was never a striker. Yeah, he was a winger converted to a striker, so we have to be patient with him. And Tapiwa Tenaro, I'm just warming up for the impending heartbreak. I think at least be hopeful. You be hopeful, yeah. Don't expect too much. Just be hopeful. Don't conclude that we're losing. But here's one thing I like. I'm gonna say this. I don't know whether certainly that will be the case. Every time Chelsea fans fear our opposition this much, we usually get a result, and vice versa. When we feel like when we feel like we're capable of more, that we're gonna mop the stadium carpet with the opposition, usually I get concerned. So hopefully that's the case today. Since a lot of Chelsea fans are concerned that we will. That we will lose this one. I hope that's a good sign. And Chelsea Ultra is in the house. Nice to see you, brother. Good morning, all you beautiful people. Good morning to you too, and thank you for finding the time to join the show this particular morning, and I appreciate that. I think Cole might recover like Cole Palmer. There's a chance. Look, he was just ill. He misses a training or two. If the illness affects his fitness, maybe that's when he doesn't start. But I'm quite sure as long as his leg isn't broken, as long as he recovers, even if he recovers 5 hours before the game, I think he gets a chance to play. He's that important. But if he doesn't play, what the manager said here, saying that the players must show that they are Chelsea Football Club, not Cole Palmer FC. Same question applies to him. He has to show that without Cole Palmer, he can still get the team to play and get good result, irrespective of the situation we found ourselves in, which in fact we shouldn't discount. But that's, by the way, I think Cole Palmer might recover like Gallagher. I hope he does. It was an illness. His leg isn't broken, so if he recovers even 5 hours before the game and the illness didn't affect his fitness, I think he plays. 15 likes, and we are 28 minutes into the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes go a long way. And quickly, before we continue, I want to appeal to those of you who are following the show, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat. Just listen, we understand. We understand you have other priorities, but you're able to listen at the same time and continue and still doing what you're doing. But we want to ask you for one favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us. The likes do go a long way. The more likes we garner, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and be forced to push the stream. The more people who will be interested in the topics we have lined up. So thank you. 15 likes already. Let's see if we can get it to 100. We will try to be as snappy as possible because we don't have too much time so that we can get to the match preview exercise proper. So, Bobby, big up and welcome to the panel. I appreciate your dedication. I must be more specific here to discussing Chelsea whenever you get the opportunity. Let's start. Mauricio Pochettino saying that Chelsea players must show that chances are he still play. Chelsea players must show that they are Chelsea Football Club and not Cole Palmer FC. And I say the same question goes to him, applies to him maybe. He has to show that he's able to get the team to still be able to play without Cole Palmer. But let's hear your opinion on that coming from the manager. I'm not critiquing him. I'm just saying the same question applies to him. But let's hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, big up, coach. Always a pleasure. Yeah, coach, you're exactly right. The same question applies to him, and he's right to say that. However, Chelsea FC, without who? Chelsea don't have a team. They're without all their key players, as usual, facing Arsenal. They've never played Arsenal with a complement of a side for the past 5 years and counting. So it's not just about Cole Palmer. But we're so used to not being with our players that we talk as if we're going there to play them as if we have a full deck of cards. We don't. And that has to be thoroughly highlighted. We don't have a team. And once that perspective is taken into consideration, it creates a objective mind to the judgment of the performance of the team. I'm expecting nothing tonight, especially without Palmer. I don't know what state he's in. If he's been ill, then he can't necessarily be fit enough to play enough. We have players that have been injured the whole season. We've got a player in Ben Chilwell who can't play 90 minutes without getting injured. That's a very, very serious concern. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. Cole Palmer was the only shining light. That's why so much focus is on him. But I think the focus is disingenuous to Chelsea's plight. Chelsea's plight is because they have been without Reece James all season. Romeo Lavia hasn't barely kicked a ball for his new club. Christopher Nkunku, the same thing. Wesley Fofana has been out for 2 seasons. 2 seasons. We've got to look at this. Is it the medical team? I think, I have avoided criticizing them, but I think time has come that they face scrutiny. Whichever medical team has left a team like this in this situation needs to be thoroughly vetted. Are they competent in what they're doing? Because from what it looks like, they are not. We're the only team going through this nonsense. And quite frankly, I don't want to see Reece James this season. I don't want to see Nkunku either this season. It's a waste of time. They have sat on the injury table throughout crucial games, true crucial cup games. Don't turn up in the middle of at the end of the season just to walk around the stadium and clap the fans. Turn up in the new season and give us a full season. I'm not interested in them. What do I want to see Reece James for now? What the hell for? Every big game he's not been there. So what is he coming to do now? Nothing, really. Same with Nkunku. Just see them trying to get fitness. It's nonsense. They should go turn up at pre-season, and they should not be considered or consider going to their national team. If they're getting fit just to go for national team appearances to get injured again, then we need to seriously consider their contracts. Same with Ben Chilwell. He went to the national team call up. I knew something was going to happen. Southgate played him 2 consecutive games unnecessarily, and that's it. He's nobbled. We're in a bad place with the team selection. So coming back to your question about Cole Palmer, yes, we should play as Chelsea FC and not Cole Palmer FC. But the reason why we're giving this so much consideration is that Cole Palmer is the last man standing. In terms of our special players, we have nobody else. So the game against Arsenal, forget it.
You don't sound optimistic. It looks like. But listen, I'm gonna say this. I've said it before. Every time I see our fan base as concerned as we are, because we're playing a very strong team, a well-rehearsed team, a team playing as a unit, it gives me hope, in all honesty. But let's see how that pans out in a few hours. Good. So has ligament damage. I do not want to see this to see at right back. Chalobah or Gilchrist is a much better option for right back. I disagree. Right now, I think the Sissi will fulfill that right back role very well. He's done it before occasions and he did well. I get it. He's not been as consistent as I'd expect him to be, but I'd rather him in the right back than the Sissi, and I think the manager would do the same. And saying I hope Poch will allow Silva a partner Chalobah. They proved a better pairing against City. I think we'll see that pairing today, but we'll get to that. Please try and keep the topic aligned. We're talking about the manager's coming, and I'm saying the same question applies to him, not just the players. Poch needs to retake his own advice. This man went on TV and told the world our tactics is get the ball to Palmer. That's actually, as funny as that sound, I've refused to talk about it. But I'm gonna move on. And the Briani Yahayu, I triggered the commander already. And you can see it in the chat there saying, okay, coach, so what's your advice? Been waiting for hours. When I read that, the first thing that came to mind at the time was that, yeah, the same question applies to him. So that's what you tell him. Tell him that the same question applies to him, not just to players. He has to prove that he's able, that he was never just about Parma, even though, yeah, whether that was by design or not, we've all agreed we've been Parma FC, but he earns his money. He earns a lot and should be able to prove that, yeah, his worth how much he's earning as a manager by proving, yeah, without Cole Palmer would still perform. It's really as simple as that. The same question applies to him and not just the players. He can't just put it on the players. He has to find a way to make up for the absence of Cole Palmer. And that's my opinion anyway. Saying how can I hop on the panel? Just hit me up via Twitter and I'll send you the link, bro. Hit me up via I'm looking for more panelists. In all honesty, just hit me up via Twitter and I'll I'll send you the link. And we have something today. The panelists will all create their own lineups independently, so that we'll try the best we can to get to it as soon as possible. And whoever gets it correctly gets $50, the panelists. So just do that. Poch has to go along with a whole host of players. Let's see what he does today. It's up to him. And yeah, Briani repping hard, Contender FC, Jackson FC, Cold Palmer FC, and Vivel FC. And the list keeps growing. Chances are in 2 months or so, he's going to change his name again. Briani, how you? Much love to you. And my bro, the Blue. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. And the Beautiful Game says, Poch needs to keep quiet. If it wasn't for Cole Palmer, we would be in the relegation zone. The brother is sitting at the top of the Golden Boot table and has 40 goal and assists in total. Big up to you too, brother. And you heard my response there. And Brianna, I'm quite sure you've seen my advice there. Just just saying we have deeper rooted problems in our medical and training staff. If anything, training staff, be correct, or the manager's approach, training approach. I think that's probably where the issue is, because I wouldn't say medical staff. The medical staff, their job is to treat the players when they get injured. So if our players keep getting injured, there's something is wrong with the manager's approach, in my opinion. I'm not saying for certain that's the case. I'm just saying maybe we should look at it. All clubs get injured, but no one to the level we have for a few seasons right now. So with that being said, that probably not Poch's problem. So something else must be going on. Let's see what else we have here. And the Collins are not you, and nice to see you. We are Chelsea, and we must prove it tonight. Arsenal is meeting us at the wrong time. I've said what I said before. If Arsenal, if they won a 9 game and they're playing us on their again, and we're the team they'll be playing in their 10th attempt, chances are they falter, and the case is vice versa for us too. I hope that's the case today. That's the only thing that gives me hope. The Sissi is not good at right back, but Chalobah and Gilchrist have more pace and are better on the ball. The Sissi should be a centre back if necessary. Let's see what happens there. We should not, under any circumstance, give Poch any new signings to destroy. Osimhen is a slightly injury prone already, and if he knows what's good for him, he will stay away until Poch is gone. And I'm going to say, yes, then, from another perspective, though, I agree. As long as Poch is our manager, Osimhen shouldn't come to Chelsea. Given the manager's approach of, you can say, of playing with a more versatile players, and Osimhen, for me, as good as I believe he is, if Mourinho was our manager, I say get him Osimhen. But under Pochettino, and if you remember things that was said during the last summer transfer window, he's looking for a number 9 that's capable of playing across all three positions in the front area. And Osimhen, for me, as good as I believe he is, I know he is, he's not that guy. Even if he's capable of adapting, it would take time. And I don't think Chelsea fans will be patient with him. I have to be honest. I don't think Osimhen should be our priority. If anything, Gilchrist, Santiago Jimenez, even Oli Watkins, for me, it can be more versatile than Osimhen, in my opinion. But Osimhen is more powerful, maybe a better finisher than Nicholas Jackson. But Nicholas Jackson is more, for instance, is more suitable to the way Pochettino likes to play. But Osimhen is a better finisher, definitely, more powerful than Nicholas Jackson. But Nicholas Jackson more complete than him. I have to be as honest as I have to be. But my main point being, if Pochettino is still our manager, we must not get him Osimhen. It will lead to him needing to tweak his preferred approach to accommodate Osimhen, and you cannot pay 100 million plus for Osimhen and then not accept that you need to adjust things to accommodate him, if that makes sense. The only way I see us winning if Poch drops Mudryk and Jackson, we get to talking about the game. Try and keep the topics aligned. We're talking about the manager's comment right now. Let's culture. You can say let's cultivate that culture of keeping the topics aligned. It will go a long way for us. Injuries are what happens when you employ medical staff using nepotism. Wow, I know where you're going with that one. Facts, coach. The beautiful game. Let's see. Isaac would cook in this team, but unfortunately, Newcastle, they're one of the big boys right now. And I don't think they'd even consider selling one of their best players. If anything, they'd sign more good players to get the best out of them. I've heard the rumors before. I don't think they're selling Isaac. Let's see. And big up to you too, Bobby Fairview. Nice to see you. Big up, coach. Looking forward to seeing your predicted lineup. Yep, we'll do it one by one. And any panelist that predicts it correctly gets $50. Let's find a way to appreciate our panelists. They've done well for us. Havertz hat-trick, we end Poch, hopefully. I don't think Havertz scores today, but let's see what happens. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's go, people. Let's go. Talks about Trevoh Chalobah. I'm still going to say this. I think whether he stays or leaves Chelsea Football Club all comes down to how well he does from now to the end of the season. And already, I think the manager probably, I've said, what was it? A month ago that I said something to the effect of the manager, I'm seeing signs that he trusts him. I think he trusts him. He's different from all other defenders that we have. He's no nonsense. He's also good on the ball. It's not like he's horrible on the ball. It's just that in most cases, it decides not to take too much risk and not try to keep the ball and just boot it out, which you want a mix of a more traditional CB than, you can say, the ball-playing defender. And he's more aggressive than most of them. And maybe not more aggressive than the CC, probably, or maybe the fact that the CC is bulkier or bigger clouds my judgment, maybe. But I think we should keep him if he does well. And it's not like he's one of the top earners. He's earning well, but not as much as Ben Chilwell or Reece James. So if he's doing well, why not keep him? But we'll find out. Let's see what the report says here. This particular report says that the expectation is still for Trevoh Chalobah to leave. It's an expectation. It's not a certainty. So chances are, if the manager says, I want this guy, he's actually been one of our best defenders, he stays. The expectation is for Trevoh Chalobah to leave so that Chelsea can make a profit, and for Chalobah to be a regular starter. It was the same in January and didn't happen at that time because you need to make all parties happy to make the deal. Look, if he leaves and he succeeds, I'd be happy. At least it's not causing a fuss. It's not causing a fight. We're not hearing some nonsense from his camp and some nonsense from the club's camp. Yeah, there's a mutual understanding there. The aim is for him to play and play regular football, and the club also wants profit. So if he wants to leave, so the club, yeah, we say, okay, if you want to go ahead. We're happy to make profit and use it somewhere else, if that makes sense. But I think whether he leaves or stays depends on how well he does by the end of the season. So, Bobby, if you're there, if you want to chip in a Trevoh Chalobah situation, you go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I believe Pochettino does like Chalobah, and he does trust him. He made him captain in the pre-season before he became injured. And Chalobah at the moment is proving to be our best centre back at the moment. Thiago Silva had an excellent game against Man City, but these games are sort of farewell games. I mean, Thiago now at his age, I don't want to see him falter. This is the time to go. I like him. I think it's important. It's very, very tempting to give him another season. But to be brutally honest, this is indeed the time to go. And I know I from what he's saying, he looks very likely that um, he will retire or at least leave Chelsea at the end of the season. So Chalobah, I don't know why people complain about Chalobah. I'm bemused. I don't understand it. I think he's a very good defender. I think he's proved he's a good defender. He does his job. Yeah, occasionally he makes the odd error, but he's been out for a whole season. He's just finding his stride, and he covered up a lot for against Man City. He covered up Thiago Silva a lot. Yeah, I mean, what else can I add to this? I am almost 100% certain that Pochettino likes him for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think he likes him, and if he likes him even more, you can say everything comes down to how well he does. Even sometimes, he's an important part of the team. I don't think it makes sense to sell him. I think they consider keeping him.
Yeah,
This
me
will
too.
get ugly for us. I see us losing 4-1, 5-1. And I'm going to say this again. When I start hearing of the scene again, if I sense that the fan base, they fear an opponent to an extent that they don't think we're going to win, usually we get good results. I hope that's the case today. I'm not certain that will be the case, but that's a pattern to that. And the W Marketing is saying it's like saying Chelsea shouldn't sign a Messi like player because he doesn't fit Poch. Big clubs assign big players, and if the coach isn't up to it, then he or she should take a walk. That argument, as much as it makes sense to an extent, but sometimes you have to be cautious. Even the players themselves do consider these things. Players do consider these things. How, if they know the history of the manager, they wouldn't want to come if a certain manager is the coach of a certain club. I've seen players that didn't want to join us because we had a certain manager at the time. And in the case of Osimhen, in all honesty, if I have to, if I get the opportunity to advise him, I say, do not come as long as this man is a manager. If you and I think you've listened to me explain, Osimhen all his life has played as a traditional number 9. And in my opinion, I like him. I love him. I followed him since his under 17 days. But Pochettino prefers to play with a more complete number 9. Osimhen is powerful. He's an excellent finisher. Aerially and on the carpet, he can finish well. But we've heard last summer transfer window that Pochettino is looking for a number 9 that's capable of playing across all 3 positions in the front area. And Osimhen, in all honesty, isn't that guy. If he was, if we talk about Victor Boniface, I'd say, yeah, maybe. Not maybe, actually. Boniface is capable of playing effectively on the flanks. He's a better dribbler than Osimhen. Maybe not equally a good finisher. If you get my point, I'm just being cautious. The same argument I made before we signed Lukaku, telling people at the time, if you follow Thomas Tuchel from Mainz to Dortmund to PSG, he hardly ever uses a traditional number 9. More into using number 9, so he was capable of helping him implement a fluid front of attacking area. That it'll be an issue. One of the videos was HH, my bro, and also what's his name? My other Indian bro. I told them, look, it's an issue for that man, for Thomas Tuchel at the time to sign him a player, which means once we get to the final third, we channel all our goal scoring opportunities through a single individual. That I don't think Thomas Tuchel would want that. And during an interview, actually, he explicitly said, yeah, he's not going to build his team around the single individual. To simplify it, he's not going to play with a style where once we get to the final third, we'll start looking for Lukaku. That's my point. I get what you're saying. But at the same time, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I don't know how else. If you don't, if the manager, again, if we sign a player for the manager, or if the manager don't push for the club to sign him, to sign the sort of player he wants for him, you will see people, some camp of the fan base saying, yeah, he's a yes man. That's if he takes whatever you throw at him, they say he's a yes man. Then if he pushes for the club to get him the player he wants, then chances are he start having issues with the club. So I'm not sure how I get your point there, but no, I don't think it works like that. I don't think they would just sign a player and throw it at him. The ones they've signed before his arrival, yes. But I'm not sure you just sign a player without him saying, okay, I can work with that player before you sign that player. Then he shouldn't be a manager at all. I don't think it. For instance, I get it. Thomas Tuchel hardly ever uses a traditional number 9, but he okayed the signing of Lukaku. That was where I blamed him for that, if that makes sense. So let's move on there. Chalobah is so much more composed than any of the 2 Monaco pairings. Right now, he's proven that's the case, but I'd say his name, Badiashile is a more composed player, better on the ball, has better passing range. But if you can expect one to, you can say, be a better defender, Chalobah is. That's just my opinion anyway. That's your lineup there. Okay. If you can hit me up via Twitter, let me know when you do, and I'll send you the link. I don't know if you've done that. If you can come onto the panel, and if you predict the lineup correctly, you get to win $50. Nothing. This one on April 20th. Who's that? You get a lot of nonsense there. Who's this? CFC Angel. Who's this? I'm not sure who that is. Okay. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Good day to you too. Supreme Quads and the predicted lineup. You can come onto the panel so we can use the app, the web app, our web app. Custom to Chelsea Perspective and Buildia. So it's there. It's in the video. Big up to you to Santiago Munoz. Nice to see you. My assistant, it's in the house. I appreciate you, and this is for you. In the house today, so he helps me answer a lot of questions. We know by now Chalobah will be forced out of a pure profit. I don't think that's the case. The whole thing started last transfer window when he wanted to leave after we made a new signing. I think it was not Badiashile really. I think it was DCC at the time. Coutinho players are a club's assets and not the coaches. We understand that, but that doesn't mean you sign players without you can say without discussing it with the manager. You have to reach out to the manager We like this player. Are you able to work with this manager? He okays it before you sign the check. You can't just go scout the player and sign a manager and boom, tell him you have this player, work with them, make it work. No, it doesn't work like that. Some soldiers come, soldiers go. I agree. I need Poch gone as soon as possible. Man is festering of mediocrity among the Chelsea ranks. Do you think that will happen? I don't know, and I'm tired of talking about his future. Actually, I am convinced Ball is not actually watching these players performing week in week out. He's obviously looking at his profit and loss spreadsheet. No cap, might as well turn Cobham into supermarket. If that's how you see it, that's you. Sadly, Gallagher and Chalobah will be gone. I don't know. And you're sounding as if you'd be pained if Gallagher is sold. You that have always preached that the club should sell him. So I don't forget that easily. The manager should say Gallagher and Chalobah being plans. Pochettino gave him the captain's armband for two of our preseason games, but we know the ownership disregard such things, and that is why we are where we are. I think that is just you seeing it like that. Chalobah wanted to leave. Bayern came calling, and he showed, he wanted to join them. The difference at the time was that Chelsea was like, okay, if you want to leave, we want you gone on a permanent, and Bayern only wanted him on loan with an option to buy. But you are entitled to see it the way you want to see it. We will see. Will we see Gallagher Casado combo? I really want to see that against a big team. I think it will work. It brings balance. That's not me saying Enzo is a bad player, but sometimes you learn something the hard way, then you still find a way to accommodate Enzo because they all complement each other. Enzo has better vision than Gallagher and Casado, even two of them combined, in terms of helping us control the game or dictating the pace of the game. He makes our midfield tick. Gallagher brings the energy. Casado reads the game better from a defensive perspective, reads the game better than the other two, but he's not as quick as Gallagher too, or not as aggressive as Gallagher can be, if that makes sense. They all complement each other, but I think we've seen it. It was clear that Gallagher brings that much needed balance in that 2-6-6 pairing, which means the manager has to find a way, maybe change the structure to accommodate the two of them, because they have something that works for us, that complement each other. It's a shame because Silva and Chalobah were the best partnership, and now I'm hearing rumors. You called it rumors, so maybe just hold off a bit and don't blame anybody. I'm not saying you've blamed anybody. Rumors at this point, there's no way to confirm. And the fact, the expectation isn't certainty. You expect something to happen doesn't mean definitely that thing happens. So Chalobah is one of our best defenders. If truth be told, and I've said that already, though he has been a bench warmer most times because he's been out injured for a while. Yep, the sporting directors need to be assessed to, not just the manager. Poch can have Lukaku. I don't care if he injures him. They're made for each other. Okay, I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom, and then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. Unfortunately, I can't get everything you have here. As much as I like reading your comments, okay. Have you DM'd me on Twitter? Okay, I'll check right now. So let's see. Or you can share your handle there, and then I'll try. And then I'll try to. Okay, you DM'd me already. Are you CFC Angel? I'm guessing Angel Michael, the Archangel. So I'm guessing they are that. Most definitely you. If you're CFC Angel, let me know. Let me know. What else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. And your birthday was actually April. Your birthday isn't actually here. Your birthday is tomorrow. What a day to meet you. CFC Angel, but nice to see you. Let me know if that's you. Let's see. We could buy another Conor Gallagher. I'm not sure what to make of that one there. It will be a nightmare if Havertz and Jorginho score against us. I don't think any of them will score, but that's just me hoping that's not the case. Coach, if I see the Everton lineup tonight, I'm going to lose my, whatever you say there. Poch is a fraud, and don't be surprised if we win tonight, because he always win whenever you think he's on the edge. I think for a while now, specifically in the Premier League, we've not been on the edge. We've actually done well in the Premier League. We've garnered more points than any other team in the Premier League since December. Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've seen something like that. And big up, JC. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. I hope you have one of those boring meetings to attend so you can leave me alone today to concentrate and host the show. Coach is again building a case on Chalobah. Wasn't Cowell also talking to leave to Brighton? If a player is good, club should talk. I said the same thing. I didn't say otherwise. I said if he's good, I think whether he stays or leaves, that all depends on how well he does. And he's done well so far. If he finishes strongly, then if the manager really wants him, he will tell the club and they will talk. I don't think if the manager wants him to stay, the club will persist on selling him, if that makes sense. And we need experience. Yep, whatever you say there. Chalobah wants to play, so does Cowell and all. I haven't seen any young player that doesn't want to play. So, yeah, good one there. So I appreciate that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with 24 likes. We can do much better than that, but the views are really, really slow. It can be like that sometimes, so I understand. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up. I want us to get to the lineup, build an exercise as soon as possible. Let's go, people. Let's go. And if you're watching, Michael, is that you with the are you the one CFC Angel? Let me know if that's you. I want to know, Michael, if that's you, please do let me know. And this one here talks about Thiago Silva will leave Chelsea at the end of the season. What a player he's been for us. And this is not going to be Thiago Silva tribute contest. I think we'll do that when he leaves. He's still with us. It was a few more games to round up the season with us. What a player he's been. What a signing he's been for us. Some people say we signed him a little too late. I'd say we signed him just at the right time. He joined us and within a short time won the Champions League with us, won the Club World Cup. One more, I think I'm missing one European Super Cup. That's not easy. And also could have won even more had it not been that we lost 2 finals. In my description, are you CFC Angel? That's the question I'm asking. Or maybe you mentioned me. If you mentioned me, then I'll try and follow you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see what else we have here. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's see. Child about to play. Yeah, I think we've addressed that one. I messaged the Twitter link in your description. I'm not sure I understand. In my description, I'm not CFC Angel. Did you tag me? Did you tag me? I don't know. He's asking the question, Coach, was Badiashile in one race pony? It looks like a club wanted to sell him, irrespective of other movements in the CB area. I'm not sure. I wouldn't call him a one race pony. He got injured and lost form a bit. Probably needs to play more. And in those games he's played for us of late, he wasn't that bad. It's just that because, we had a lot of pressure on our defensive line, and probably he was one that people like to point fingers at. In my opinion, I wouldn't say he was a one race pony. I think there's a excellent player in him. Actually, he's if anything, remember that Barca wanted him too, but he wanted to come to us, and I still don't believe we're looking to sell him. If they sell him and move and players come, players go. Even though I like him, but I know he will be one of the best CBs in world football in the future. He needs time. How old is he? At most 22. And I think he's just 21. I can't quite remember. At most, he'd be 22. I blame Notice support for making Silva last season with us a trophyless. Wow. Some comments. Badiashile was bad this season, to be honest. Yeah. But the injuries he had didn't help. And he didn't actually, he didn't complete, he didn't do the. I think he wasn't at the camp for preseason with us. He missed the preseason due to injuries. A particular injury at the time. I can't quite remember what it was. But that's by the way. Let's move on to the next item. I want to start just this. And so Thiago Silva, this is not a tribute show for him. We would do that sometime. Thiago had the chance in January to leave Chelsea in January, but he wanted to stay and help Chelsea in this complicated season and help our very young players. He did the best for Chelsea and will do so until the end. A legend indeed, and I sincerely do appreciate that. And this says, let's see what else we have here. What's up to you two? I hope you're doing well, Diggy. Can you paste the link in the chat? I don't do that. Honestly, I don't do that. Did you say just you can share your Twitter handle? Don't make it a link. Just share your Twitter handle. There's a reason we don't do that. It's something from ready, and I'm not prepared to do that. But if you're gonna be on, if you can promise you'll be on camera, I'll drop the link there. And if you can come on camera, we don't do that for a risk. We've had occasions where people joined the panel and played X-rated sounds on the panel, which led to two of my fellow content creators, brothers, actually, channels being shut down for a while. Respect to Silva. Too bad the owners let him down for 2 seasons straight. If that's how you want to see it. But more importantly, respect to him. This is not a Thiago Silva, tribute show. We would do that someday, but not today. Another item, this one. Let's hear your opinion on this one. This one saying Pochettino is sounding as if he's open to Lukaku's return. This here about Vince is saying Pochettino on Romelu Lukaku. He's a Chelsea player, so for sure we will pay attention. It's an option. But still, we did not take any decision about Lukaku. He's being cautious with his comment there. I'm not too sure what's going to happen, but we'll find out at the end of the season. But this is reflective of the fact that, that Roma, it doesn't look like they're interested in keeping him. But let's see what happens there. And respect to Silva, I think we've addressed that one there. Chelsea is fast becoming the excuse capital of club football. It's so tiresome and boring these days. I'm not here to make excuses for anybody. I'm tired. Sometimes it just seems as if I'm getting, I'm maxing out my patience in times about I'm never ever going to become negative. That's who I am. I've made my opinion of the manager clear, and I'm not going to go I'm not going to be one of those going about with a placard or something screaming "Poch out." I've made my opinion clear, and I also did make clear how I arrived at that conclusion. And if you want to hear that, go check that particular video out. We're not here to talk about the manager's future right now. So this is sounding as if it's open to Lukaku returning to Chelsea. It's not my decision, but I think the owners would rather him leave on a permanent and don't come back again, because probably his salary, most definitely his salary, is an issue in my opinion. But let's see what the club does. But never say never. Anything can happen. Coach, this makes perfect sense. Why would Poch not like Lukaku? He made Gallagher his captain. The man has zero intelligence and zero cojones. Wow. That is some comment right there. God knows I just read it. That's not my opinion. So this is rumors were all over the place. I think that was yesterday or 2 days ago, that Ruben Amorim was on the verge of joining West Ham United. And some people were saying that's crazy. And that's because they believe he had all the better options, even Chelsea included, and other clubs mentioned, and he wants to join West Ham United. So Ruben Amorim understand after initial round of talks, it's highly unlikely to see Amorim as new West Ham manager. So they had discussions in the first place. Discussions not expected to advance after meeting in London. Talks on standby with Liverpool since last week. Amorim keeps his options open. don't want to discuss him. I haven't started looking beyond Mauricio Pochettino. That's because I think he'd be here next season, but that's my opinion anyway. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Poch is right to leave the door open for Lukaku after 2 failed seasons in a row. I think we got bigger problems than stupid comments made by a player. Lukaku lacks self-awareness. So what? Hasten beyond self-awareness. Will he walk? Beyond the comments he made, will he walk? Besides the comments he made at the time under Thomas Tuchel, before time, I knew Lukaku walking on the Thomas Tuchel was going to be an issue. And I think a lot of people didn't realize that until he blatantly responded to a question telling people, no, he's not going to build his team around a single individual, if that makes sense. So beyond, besides Lukaku's comment, will he work? That's the question we should be talking. I think under Mauricio Pochettino, for Lukaku to perform under Mauricio Pochettino, he needs to tweak his approach. He needs to put aside his, you can say, his preference of playing more versatile players who are capable of playing across the 3 positions in the front area. Good afternoon to you too, Tebego. Nice to see you, Tobago. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Let's get the likes up, people. Please like the video. 28 likes, not bad. And we are 1 hour into the show, but I think we should be doing way better. Lukaku is exactly what we need in the dressing room right now. I cannot wait for this, his first interview. I think he's a human being, and I'm quite sure he's learned a lesson or two. Who actually should be captain of the team at this moment, given Silva refused the armband? I don't know. And that's the list of my concerns, really. Big up to you, Batman. I hope you're doing well. I don't want to talk about Lukaku. I think we should move on. I think we should move on from him too. Are we able to do that? I honestly do not know whether we're able to do that. But you get my point. Yep, and that's Mr. Benjamin is in the house. That gives away. Benjamin, nice to see you. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. Let's get the likes up. Anything else to address here? Amorim to West Ham would be interesting. They've needed an attacking manager for a while. Wondering if we should intervene. I'm not sure whether we should intervene. We have our own issues. Maya, the rapper, is in the house. Maya, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Big up coaching everyone. I hope I'm hoping all is well this week. Match game today. We need a result, a win or a draw. I don't mind. No excuses. Let's see what happens. A draw will be all right. A draw means Arsenal they drop 2 points. If that makes sense. Anything I want Bobby to Bobby, let's talk about the possibility of Lukaku becoming part of our squad next season. According to, if we're going by the manager's response. But let's hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, I think you asked the obvious question. Will it work? The question, I think the answer is blatantly obvious. Why are we going from the frying pan into the fire? I don't understand. I don't even understand why it's a topic of discussion raised in the media. That is, not here. I mean, in the media. It seems a bit of agent work is going on there, because I can't see the sense in that reunion. He just simply doesn't fit the way the team is playing at the moment. I just can't see it. He doesn't like being kept on the bench, and he would have to be on the bench if he's at Chelsea. I don't see it at all, and I don't think it's a way to go, to be honest. I think the team, they have to look for a striker to buy. It's just that simple. If you're saying Osimhen is not the person, then there's Gilchrist, Gyökeres,
You're correct.
Gyökeres, and I've forgotten the name of the other 2 sort of popular ones. But there are others out there, and
But I think those are the 2, and Ivan Toney maybe, but I haven't heard much about him. And I think 2 weeks ago or so, we heard that we're not really interested in him. It's yeah, Gyökeres or Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, so either or. I think Osimhen would fit because though he's more or less somebody that is hanging, by the goal, but he does get into the play. I mean, I've seen him drop in midfield. I've seen him drop to the flanks, which is what Chelsea is currently about. So it could work. To me, it stands a better chance of him working than Lukaku.
Okay. I see it differently, but I hope you understand my point there. Bobby Fethi saying I agree. Whether Lukaku works is a relevant question, but that's for Poch to decide. We should give him a room to make the call. Yeah, like I said, I'm just asking the question. But if you know Poch, you'd know that in terms of preferring a more fluid approach, and we've heard specifically that he said he wants players capable of playing on the flanks and centrally too. And for me, as good as I think Osimhen is, I don't think he's the guy for us, in my opinion. As long as Poch is still our manager, if Mourinho was our manager, I said bring him. He'd make him one of the best strikers in the world. But under Pochettino, I think he will try more to change him rather than get him to be a number 9. Rather than, you can say, make adjustment to accommodate him. And we know once a player switches clubs, 2 things need to happen for the player to hit the ground running. The manager, in some cases, needs to make some adjustment to accommodate the player. The player himself, in some cases, need to make some adjustment to accommodate to work, to fit into the team. And Chelsea fans aren't known to be patient. Osimhen, since he emerged as in top flight football, he's always played in teams where whenever he's on the pitch, once they get to the final third, majority of the chances the team create are channeled through him, which has led to him scoring a high volume of goals. He's a fine finisher. You can't take that away from him. On the carpet, in the air, he's excellent. If it comes to Chelsea under a manager that prefers a fluid approach, the numbers would drop. Are Chelsea fans going to understand the numbers dropped because of the manager's approach? No. They would want him to measure his exploits at Napoli and in France and all that. But let's see. If it comes, he's still very young. Chances are he adapts very well and start doing well. I know Lukaku turnaround was going to happen, but I agree. If you don't get any striker in the market next season, keep him. I guess I'm just remixing that one for you. I just hope we buy an elite or world-class striker. We must pay attention when we say striker to the profile of the striker, and we've been told the manager wants one capable of playing across all front 3 positions. Poch will say anything because he simply doesn't respect the fans. We have no say and no inputs. Okay, expecting more rubbish. Wow. It's better we go for a striker in the market. Let's see what they do. Lukaku out, Pochettino out, and I've heard actually people saying that Lukaku to Chelsea is a done deal and that he's agreed personal terms with the club. All that is left is for us to agree. The payment structure, wait, you know who? Del Oriente is a very difficult businessman to deal with. I never want Lukaku at Chelsea. Again, I don't want him again. But it's not up to us. If the manager feels like he's, you can say, the missing piece, the one that if we have him, we start doing well, let him do it. But I'm going to say something Bobby said. Chances are his agent is sponsoring the narratives we're seeing right now to force us to maybe say, you know what, we're stuck with this guy, let's just pay him off. And if we decide to pay him off to buy out his contract, he earns a lot in bulk. So the only person that has anything to lose is our club. Lukaku, he has nothing to lose. He's a Chelsea player. The contract is there. I get it. He's taking a pay reduction, a reduced pay, a pay cut. But yeah, he comes back, sits on the bench, trains with the academy. You can argue maybe if you don't want him to train with the academy, he just comes to work as usual, making sure he doesn't falter in any way to give you any opportunity to say, yeah, that he hasn't followed the contract. So it's up to you. If you want him gone, you buy out his contract and he gets a bulky pay and lives with it. But let's see what the club does. Is Zach injury prone too? I'm not too sure. I can't remember, but all I know is that he's a good player. Victor Gyökeres is a better option if you guys don't want an injury-prone player. Yeah, and we've looked at his numbers. I get it. This is his first exploit. You can say his first year in top flight football. But in the championship, he was excellent too. He's performed season after season. The only argument would be that this is his first the first time he's performing at the highest level. The first season he's performing at the highest level, but he's done well consistently. It doesn't matter the level. It's not like in the championship they don't have goalkeepers and he gets to the goalpost. He gets to the 18-yard box. And usually no goalkeeper, he just kicks it in. He had to also overcome goalkeepers to score those goals he scored in the championship. Let's be honest here. As much as I'd like another striker from the market, not only will one be costly, but I don't trust the recruitment much, and we have a bad striker record. That's important there. If the coach feels he can use him, let that happen. Kachila, I am sure you watched AFCON 2024 and you were saying that he doesn't contribute. No. I was actually defending his numbers at AFCON. I was telling people, Chelsea fans, that were judging him based on his AFCON out, and that no, we didn't create enough. And the manager was so defensive-minded that you can argue, you can say the manager's overall approach is the reason why Osimhen's number at AFCON was low. But you could see the fight. You could see how powerful he is. You could see the pace and everything. And he missed a few, which is natural. I'm not judging him based on that. I'm seeing things from the perspective of the manager's approach. I'm not saying Osimhen is a bad player. I've been following him since the under 17. His under 17 days. I just want a marriage that will work. If you get my point. I don't want a marriage where one would want too much change from the other for it to work. Yeah, I want a match made in heaven, if that makes sense. You're saying that he doesn't contribute. I'm not saying he doesn't contribute. He's not really good at. He's not the sort of guy that you say you put him on the flanks and he rip up trees. He's technically gifted, but he's not excellent. He's not that good in terms of dribbling. I don't know how else to explain this. Let me just leave it at this level. He's played as a traditional number 9, you can say, since he became a pro. Yeah, and that's a huge difference. There are so many facets, so many phases to this, the issues I'm trying to explain. And plus, if it comes to Chelsea and Pochettino is still our manager, and we continue with the fluid approach of a thing, which means we're not going to be channeling majority of our chances through him, which means definitely he will end the season with a much lower goals tally than he's done at other clubs, which means Chelsea fans will turn on him because they don't care. They just want him to finish the season with 20 plus goals, if that makes sense. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. That's not me saying he's a bad player. But in all honesty, in terms of being that guy that you can say, play on the flanks today, play left on the right-hand side today, play so that maybe Nkunku can play centrally. He's not that guy. And I'm going to say it like that. He's a number 9. Play him as number 9. Service him. He will get you goals. I think we're not disagreeing here, but I get where you're going with this. We need great players now because Poch stays... because Poch stay in Chelsea will not exceed 12 months time. Would tell Houston. I have my opinion of him, and I think we can do better than Poch. But we're making progress. That's not me saying the possibility of him, you can say, getting us to start ripping up trees next season isn't there. To be honest, I doubt he'd be interested in staying here himself. The brand of Chelsea has lost its value. I think he wants to stay because the owners are willing to spend. I think he wants to stay. He wouldn't get too many opportunities these days if he cannot succeed at Chelsea. That plays into his resume. You can say what he's trying. Yeah, that goes into his resume, whether he puts in there or not. I just want us to ruin Arsenal's title hopes. That would be a win for me, in my opinion. Lukaku even less capable of change than Osimhen. Yep, that's the truth. even more so. Yep, that's the truth. And Poch would be a bigger disaster than Poch is already. Gyökeres is better. I'm sure he can give us a 20 to 25 goals a season. No guarantee for any of them. I want Nico Williams for left wing. Rumors are that we're interested in signing him. Let's see if that happens. Ollie Watkins, underrated in my opinion. Watkins is so underrated. But one player I really would like us to go for is Victor Boniface, but I don't think Leverkusen will be ready to sell. I think few months ago, we were told that we're interested in signing him, but I don't think Leverkusen will be looking to sell him. No. I am liking how Zeki looks out. The interesting option. I am okay. Bringing Lukaku back to Chelsea, like inviting. I'm not saying that. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. If I mention that word, this video will be demonetized, and that's it. Anything else? Anything else here? Y'all created so much in the group stage, but Osimhen had poor finishing. I disagree. We didn't create enough. If anything, he missed, I think, 3 chances in total. 3 chances that under normal circumstances is put away. But that's besides my argument. Then your coach switched tactics to make sure other players can score. I don't trust Osimhen, especially given his price. Wow. It's a risk, and every player will always be a risk. Kachila, in terms of striker profile, what's the difference between Lukaku and Osimhen? They don't differ that much. The only difference is that Osimhen is more technically gifted than Lukaku. I can say that for sure. More technically gifted than Lukaku. Quicker than Lukaku. Lukaku is bulkier, and I think he's better aerially than Lukaku. But in terms of being traditional strikers, both are the same, in my opinion. Both are the same, but I've explained how the other one is better than the other one. The other one more experienced than the younger one, obviously, because he's played more top flight football than the younger one, if that makes sense. So, yeah, they're both the same because they are your stereotypical number 9s. They are. Yep. More likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. We appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. If Lukaku can get Poch, then I welcome him. You're going to that place. You're definitely going to that place. Maluda didn't deserve what we did to him in this last years. Yeah, I remember that, but that really did. Here's the thing: you can't force yourself on a club. When the manager wants you to leave, you can't try to turn the fan base against the manager. You have to leave. Lukaku deserves it, though. Let's go for Gyökeres, since Osimhen will likely go to PSG. I think that's a speculation, and I'm going to say this: I don't think Osimhen is. I'm going to say this: I don't think Osimhen is. What's his name? The PSG manager. Lucho. Let me just go with his nickname. I don't think it's Lucho's type of striker. And lo and behold, and I think I had we discussed that with DJ on the panel here 2 weeks ago. PSG are saying they haven't decided whether they're going for any strikers or not. They mentioned they still have Colomwani, they still have Gonzalo Ramos. I think I'm missing one more player there. So I don't Lucho, as Pochettino prefers, more versatile number 9s, like that's capable players that are capable of playing on the flanks essentially.
Isn't that Luis Enrique is their manager?
Luis Enrique, yeah. That's why I had to go with his nickname. I couldn't remember his full name. And so we had that conversation here, and lo and behold, we heard that report that they're not looking right now to sign any other number 9s, if that makes sense. Yeah, Osimhen at the Afghan, he was constantly running. He's powerful. He can win the game alone for a team. Yep, constantly running and linking play and trying to make things happen. The manager messed up the Afghan. Yep, I said the same too. That the manager's approach was poor, really, really poor, and it affected Osimhen's performance at the tourney. If that makes sense. So Pochettino will play Lukaku as a DM. I heard we might not have a Palmer tonight. You see, then the manager has to prove that he's capable of getting the team to play in the absence of Cole Palmer. Yep, burnout quick, probably burnout, but he's ill. Chances are he'd play for real, because we all saw Gallagher left wing. But let's see what the manager does. The Isaac is all we want. Good luck getting him. Good luck getting Alexander Isak from Newcastle United. They're one of the big boys now. They're actually, I don't know if they're richer than Chelsea, but I think you can. They state-owned. I think they are. We have decent finishes. We don't need Lukaku or any striker. Yeah, I mean, you could argue that, and I think the manager probably will feel the same, especially if Nkunku comes back and stays fit. How is Kachula going to struggle to mention the name of a fellow Niger brother? Hetston. Chelsea comes first, in all honesty. Chelsea comes first, and I have to be as objective as I want to be. If Nigerians want to push Chelsea to sign a Nigerian, it should be Victor Boniface. It's more complete than Osimhen. If anything, Osimhen is more experienced, maybe a better finisher than the two. But if you're talking about a player that has more to his game, Victor Boniface is the guy, in my opinion. And they're both fellow Nigerians, in my opinion. A poacher like Haaland or Lewandowski, you guys aren't paying attention. I think it was I and Rodrigo Rogers. We talked about Haaland. As good as he's been, he's created more problems for Pep. And whenever he's on the pitch, they don't play with so much fluidity like they used to. Here's the thing about having a traditional number 9 in your team. In the case of Lukaku at the time, once we signed him, the performance of a squad that did so well under Thomas Tuchel at the time, that all we had to do is just improve our finishing, the performance dropped. We weren't as fluid as we used to be. So I don't know whether subconsciously or by design. When Lukaku was with us, every time any of our players was on the ball, they tend to look for Lukaku at the time. And Lukaku got injured. In his absence, we won and scored 4 goals or at least 3 goals in a game. That's not to say Lukaku is a bad player. So everything comes down to application, and you have to pay attention. Details matter. Details matter, not just to sign. Because at the time, we did so well under Thomas Tuchel. Timo Werner was missing chances. What's his name? Hakim Ziyech missed a few. Havertz was missing, but we're still okay. And we're saying we need a goal scorer, and we need a goal scorer, we need a goal scorer, and we need a goal scorer. And I didn't know who looked at the situation at the time and went, geez, yeah, let's get Lukaku. Forgetting that once you get a traditional number 9, that for that, you don't, forgetting that the way we played under Thomas Tuchel, we don't rely on a single individual to score goals for us. And once you get a traditional number 9, and once the person is on the pitch, that changes. And I think we learned the hard way that we really, under the manager at the time, didn't need a traditional number 9. But if we had Mourinho at the time as our manager, Lukaku probably would have could have had the opportunity, scored so many goals that he'd be fighting for the Golden Boot that particular season. So people sometimes don't look. We need. Go ahead. You were saying something.
To summarize what you're saying, Chelsea don't necessarily need a traditional number 9. Chelsea needs a traditional finisher. Had Jackson been finishing the chances he has, and even those he created himself, he would have overtaken the goal-scoring prowess of a traditional number 9. Chelsea just need a finisher, somebody who can score. Whether he's someone that drops back, whether he is that traditional number 9, which actually doesn't particularly suit the way we play. We just need a finisher. That's the summary of it all.
Yep, that's the summary indeed. So let's try and catch up so that we can get to doing all the things we want to do here. I'm sure you've shown me, and I refuse to listen to you. An untried, an untested Osimhen on the patch with a disjointed team and dodgy ownership is still very. Yes, and I don't want Osimhen to risk it. I love him so much. I don't want him to risk coming to Chelsea right now. I wouldn't buy Osimhen for 130 million because his recent form. I don't judge players. As long as a player has performed, I don't just judge them by their recent form. Form is temporary. Players do go in and out of forms. And once that player has proven that they're capable of doing it, at least for 2 seasons, I trust that player. I know, I think it was Tobeho on X when I talked about Santiago Jimenez. He said he has he has the goal again. He's going through a goal drought right now, and I say, for me, in my opinion, that's not an issue. But he's shown he's capable of doing it. PSG will go for a big name when Mbappe leaves. Osimhen fits the bill, in my opinion. Okay, just remember I told you I don't think PSG will go for Osimhen. I don't think so. And I'm serious. And they've said that too. They're not looking to sign. They like Osimhen, but they're not looking to sign him right now. And I'll tell you, he's not Luis Enrique's type of striker. And I'm going to keep saying that. I'd be shocked if he goes there. Victor Boniface, I really do like him. In all honesty, I do like him. He's more complete than Osimhen. Maybe Osimhen, the better finisher of the two. But Victor Boniface, even his finishes aren't about power, more finesse than power, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. Cole Palmer. I will ask Jackson. Yep, let's see what else. A big up to you too, Crazy. Nice to see you, brother. Crazy E says, big up, coach. I like when you pursue, but the Bundesliga tax on forwards from that league scares me. But I don't think it costs a lot. I don't think it will cost a lot, except if they give him a new contract right now. Osimhen has heart and a desire as well. Yep, he has fight and good finishing with his head and fuel. This is the type of player we need. Is he the type of player that will do well under the manager? That's the most important question. Understand the manager you have. Understand the sort of player you pushing for the club to sign. Will it work? That's an important. Chances that we sign him, Pochettino changes the way he approaches the game and accommodates him, and boom, he starts firing all cylinders. I will take it. I will, definitely. This team lacks heart and desire. Yeah, I think I agree. Blatantly obvious. This team is too comfortable. Isn't Lukaku a better finisher? I think I need to do a comparison video. We have to go to Lukaku's best season in the Serie A and go for Osimhen's best season in the Serie A. I think it's out there, but we can't do that right now. We'll do that later because we don't have too much time. Possibly, I don't know. I can't say, but I've told you Osimhen has better pace. Osimhen definitely better aerially. He has excellent. After Ronaldo, I think he has one of the best leaps in world football. He has excellent leap in him. Osimhen is pacier. Three things we've mentioned. Osimhen is pacier. Osimhen is more technically gifted. Osimhen is better aerially. Maybe just the fact that Lukaku is bulkier clouds my judgment to conclude that maybe Lukaku is can be more physical. I don't know. But Osimhen is definitely more mobile than Lukaku, if that makes sense. It's more mobile than Lukaku. Most of our players go out and club. Okay, yeah, that's kids will always be kids. Tuchel never wanted Lukaku. My issue, he allowed the ball. Yeah, exactly. He okayed it. It looks like you knew I was going to say that. We didn't just sign Lukaku. He said yes, that he could work with them. Yeah. Coach, I cannot forget when proper Charles Lukaku had the chance to deny Man City the first UEFA Champions League, and the ball just hit back of his head, and instead, and if anything, Pep's comments showed he's not a nice person. I think he did reference that during his presser. All right, people, I'm going to move on, but I'm going to say hello to Vic because we have a match preview today and we don't have too much time. I will try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. Big up, Vic. Nice to see you. Please, if you're a moderator and you see Vic, just type exclamation mark Vic, exclamation mark the command. For a lot of people, I don't have them all by heart, but we get there in a bit. How much is Boniface release clause? I don't think it's up to 16 million. Coach, you are on form today and with no toppings. No, it depends on the topic. More until JC tries to pull my leg again, and I think he would do that. Boniface said he doesn't like Premier League on OB1 podcast. Really? But money talks. People are being unfair to Jackson. He's expected to create and finish. Jackson has actually been excellent. He's improved and he can only get better. I'm not going to judge him. In all honesty, fair enough. Let's see. Boniface, to be honest with you, I never liked the Premier League. I just think it's not my style. He's a highly technical player. I think he'd do well in the Bundesliga. But if they pay him, he'd come. But that comment alone may well lead to clubs not being interested in bringing him to the Premier League. We've enough 100 million flops on the books for me. We should forget Osimhen. Wow. People are justified in expecting Jackson to score because he's the only striker. Yeah, exactly. Coach, Chelsea fans have spent more time discussing Osimhen than our squad, and I'm quite sure you know why. And yeah, I'm quite sure you know why. Fellow Nigerians are pushing because he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Yes, Osimhen will work. I watch him jumping in. Um, okay. If that's how you see it, that's fine. Let's see anything else here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Coach, question: isn't Jackson technical? His technical ability is actually excellent. Jackson is excellent on the ball. The only thing Jackson is missing, he does everything else well, except put away chances. And I think that will come. Of late, he's actually improved until our last game. Yeah, similar. No, Jackson is more technically gifted than Solomon Kalou. I disagree with you. As good as Kalou was at the time, I think Jackson will become a better player. He hasn't achieved half of what Solomon Kalou achieved as a player, but I think Jackson will get there and do even better. I think he has more to his game than Solomon Kalou. Coach, I'm not pulling legs. It's just that I hardly watch any other football games. I don't know. Osimhen, what's the hype? He's a good player, but I don't think he will work under Pochettino. In my opinion, that's just an opinion. Chances are the manager changes things, and boom, he works. Anything else? So, yeah, let's see what else we have here. Watching Osimhen a few times this season. I didn't think I was watching a player like Messi and Mbappe. No, he's not at that. He's just he's different. He's this number 9. Big up, Kachila. Big up to you too. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. And the lit manager will probably relocate Jackson and silence half the fan base. Yeah, Jackson will come good. So let's get into the match preview exercise proper, please. No, we don't have too much time here. Yep, we have to round up Ruben Amorim rumors. We've addressed that. So if we're going by what the statistics tell us, Arsenal will most definitely beat us. That's not even close. And given our situation, let's look at the I'm gonna vote for my team to win, but I'm quite sure, yep, 60% thinks Arsenal will beat us, 80% thinks the game ends in a draw, 32% thinks Chelsea will beat Arsenal. But Chelsea need a finished product if they want. Yeah, in other words, we need experience. Khan, nice to see you, Khan. I hope you're doing well. He might play as a sub for 20 minutes or sub. Maya, the rapper in the house, Kachila shamelessly skipping comments. Yeah, I mean, you can come and help me. I need help, if that makes sense. Yeah, Jackson reminds me of Kalou. And also, he gives me Rafael Leao's vibes when he plays on the left wing. I think he has more to his game than Solomon Kalou. Solomon Kalou scored 60 goals for Chelsea and close to 200 club career goals. Good luck to Jackson getting there. I think he can. How many goals did Solomon Kalou score in his first season at Chelsea? Yeah, go ahead, talk about it. How many goals did he score in his first season at Chelsea? And check how many Jackson has scored so far, and the season isn't over yet. Kalou was a better finisher than Jackson. I mean, you can say that, but Jackson can become even a better player, in my opinion. Jackson has exceeded expectations. He also seems to be mentally strong because, yeah, he's been targeted with abuse all season. He just doesn't help himself with the on-the-pitch antics. Yeah, that doesn't help either. I think I agree with you. So let's move on. A lot to address. And we're here. I've voted, and 60% thinks Arsenal will beat us, 32, only 32. How the tables have turned in recent years. They have Timber injured. He'll be out for a few days. Tomiyasu doubtful. And for Chelsea, Ben Chilwell, yep, back where he belongs. He's injured again. Nkunku a few days. Nkunku, chances are he'd be available for selection. I don't know. Cole Palmer, doubtful illness. I think Cole Palmer will at least be on the bench. Leslie Ugochukwu, early May. Levi Colwell a few days. Malo Gusto, doubtful. Reece James early May. Robert Sanchez, I don't know what has happened to him. Out for the season. Romeo Lavia, we know that. Wesley Fofana, we know, yep, a few days. So, yeah. Let's see what else we have here. The last 5 meetings, one 2, 3, 4, 5 meetings. Arsenal beat us 4-2 at home in the Premier League, beat us 4-0 at the Emirates. Wow. Beat us 1-0 at home, beat us 3-1. And the list we've gotten for 5 matches against them, a draw, 2-2 draw at home. Wow. So they've been mopping the floor with us. That's because, we're going through a process. You could argue for 2 years right now. They've been the better side overall. Except, we won the Champions League. They haven't won that on 2 occasions, by the way. So upon all the win, they just matched us, you could say, and overtaken us by 16 wins of our 15 wins and 8 draws and all that. Wow, some game today. So let's look at the insights here. Arsenal are ranked second in goals scored per match, 2.3 per game. I think they're topping in terms of goals. I think they have more goals than any other team. I think so. I'll check. 2.3 goals per game, and we're averaging ranked 7th. Oh, we've improved. 2 goals per game. So that's a good sign. If anything, 0.3 isn't too much. I know maybe it's something, but it's not too much. If they're averaging 2.3 and we're averaging 2, chances are the game ends in a draw. Let's see. They've kept the most clean sheets in the competition, 15 in total. Have been awarded the most penalties. Some advantage there. Arsenal haven't lost to Chelsea in the last 5 meetings, 4 wins and 1 draw. Wow, they've been marrying us for a while right now. We've scored 14 goals in total. In our last 5 matches, and Arsenal haven't scored as much. But we've also conceded a lot in those 5 games. So Arsenal in the last 5 games, they lost 2, 1-2, 1-0 loss to Bayern in the Champions League, and 2-0 home loss to Aston Villa. We scored more goals than them, but we've been we've conceded a lot more than them. So it's looking like the sort of game that will end in the draw. So without wasting much of your time, we have to get to the lineup prediction exercise, and whoever predicts the lineup correctly gets $50. If you don't want to take it, you can tell us to donate it to your favorite charity organization, or you can tell us to do a giveaway for the community with it. We'll do it. So the biggest opposition to Osimhen coming actually seems to come from Nigerians. I don't blame them. They don't want their star boy to be put in a position to fail. I see it like that. Plus also all the fact that comes down to the manager, how he likes to approach the game and the sort of number 9 I know he wants. We're meeting Arsenal at the wrong time. They look like a menacing, well-oiled machine. They are, but the truth remains, if you look at our history, whenever they're doing well like that, once it becomes against their faceless, they seem to falter, and we seem to be at our best. Do I think we have the characters to recognize the importance of playing against them? Maybe. I don't know. I think we still have the likes of Ben Chilwell. Even if it's not playing, he should tell the players the importance of us not losing to Arsenal. Reece James is still there. The manager himself should know it's a London derby. Jackson is more technical than Kalu, and his finishing will come. It's just his 4th season, and let's compare his 4 seasons to Kalu's 4th season if anybody wants to make that argument. Jackson needs a challenge. He feels comfortable because he's the only striker. How about seeing it from the perspective that the pressure is too much on him? We needed to reduce that pressure whenever Nkunku starts. Maybe Jackson plays on the left flank with less pressure, and then he performs. I reckon we will get a result tonight, but I'm not sure I will celebrate it. Okay. It will leave you wondering why we didn't do that on Sunday. Kalu was already an established player in the Dutch league with Feyenoord. Had to play second fiddle at Chelsea because of the quality of the squad. Jackson is nowhere as good as Kalu, but I'm going to tell you, I think he's more technically gifted than Kalu, in my opinion. And that is my opinion. And if you want to do that, let's compare the 1st season for each of them. I'm not going to be reading too much. We don't have too much time, and I don't want to get into trouble with the wife here. Happy wife, they say happy life. Bobby, I'm going to start with you. Let's pick your 11, and if you predict it correctly, I need 3 panelists. If 3 panelists want, let's just go with 2. If the 2 of you get it correctly, you get each get $50. If you don't want it, you can tell us to do a giveaway for the community. They get it. Okay. Let's hear you, Bobby. Pick your 11 from the goalkeeper to the front to the number 9 man. Let's say you, Bobby, if you're there.
Yes, Coach, I don't think we have much choice. Petrovic in goal.
Okay, just
Left back.
1 second, just slow down a bit. Petrovic in goal.
Left back, Cucurella.
Okay.
Left centre back, either or Chalobah or Thiago Silva.
Okay, you have to give me one.
Thiago Silva on the left, does it matter, left or right? They both play both positions, but left, Thiago Silva. Right,
The Chalobah
Chalobah. Right back will have to be Desasi. Midfield will be Enzo, Caicedo, and Gallagher. And the attack will be I don't know if Palmer's playing,
So you
but
think Gallagher, right?
sorry?
Gallagher in the 10, central here.
Yeah, we don't have much choice, do we? I don't think that's okay. We have to do act like Palmer's not here, so it will need to be Noni,
None
Jackson,
where? None on the right hand side.
yeah,
Okay.
Jackson, and Sterling. I'm calling Sterling because Modric is still very frustrating. I mean, what he did at the end of the cup final was just absolute pants. He has to come off the bench.
In all honesty, I refuse to judge him because of that. Why did it take so long to bring him on?
No, it's not the sole thing to judge him, but it's a yardstick of his image, of his underdevelopment of mind. You don't balloon a free kick, the last kick of the game, like that. You measure it and cross it. I think I was on a platform when I spoke of the equalizing goal in the Champions League by Drogba through an excellent corner from Juan Mata. Juan Mata took a corner kick that he had to deliver perfectly. Then Drogba gave it a complimentary header. You don't balloon your last chance. I don't think his mind is yet developed enough. His decision making is poor, and not that Sterling is any better, but Sterling is a bit older and occasionally can do something and will need to be substituted anyway. But that's all we have at the moment in the absence of the likes of Nkunku. Carney,
All
I
right.
don't know how fit he is. But him coming off the bench to gain fitness is not a bad option to have for Enzo. In fact, if he is fit, I would start him ahead of Enzo and put him in the number 10 and put Gallagher holding with Caicedo. If Carney's fit, then I'll bring Enzo off the bench.
All right, Roger, pick up. Thank you for finding the time to join us, Roger. Let's hear your selection for the game. The players you think the manager will select and why. Yep. And if you get it correctly, you get $50. Probably, I don't know. If you want it, you get it. If you don't want it, you tell us to do a giveaway, and we do it, or donate it to your favorite charity organization. We'll do that. But Roger, let's make your selection here. Let's move to the next one. There you go. This is for Roger. Big up, more importantly, Roger. I hope you're doing well.
Hello, gentlemen. Yeah, I pretty much have to agree with everything Bobby put there. I think the only reason why it was only a few days ago they played, and I think the reason why Mudryk actually was poor, not because of that final delivery, but because of his defense when it came to the goal. He was in no man's land. He wasn't marking anyone. He was a dodo, and it's his football IQ. It's so low defensively speaking. If you watch the game, so But I get what you're saying, Bobby. I do. I really do. Listen, and we're going to have to suffer through this for him to, shall we say, mature before our very eyes. And that's part and parcel. Same with Noni. They come with defensive frailties, shall we say. And unfortunately, we don't really have much option. We're
Absolutely.
depleted. We've got 10 players that are missing. And let's be honest, we're using a third string right back.
And we have never had a complement of a team to play Arsenal. So all these people talking about, oh, Arsenal have not lost since so and so, it's not a plausible stat. They've never played a Chelsea team for nearly 6 years.
Yeah.
They just play a patched up, injury-ridden group of individuals. I hear your point. There's a lot of suffering we'll need to suffer with the youngsters. And this is why it's important to have them on such long contracts, because we won't go through all this developing them. And when they're developed and they become, good players, then give them to somebody else. No, that's not going to happen at all. They will stay and make sure Chelsea win things. As with the injury lot, I'm quite angry at those guys that are injured. Don't want to see them this season. I really don't. Those long-term injuries.
Yeah,
What's the
same
point?
here.
They've missed the big games. Watch their team suffer without them. They have to come back next season firing on all cylinders, prepared to give this club 35 games, especially Wesley Fofana, who has been out for 2 years. So that's just not
Yeah.
acceptable.
I don't want to see Lavia. I don't want to see Nkunku. I don't want
No.
to see.
Even Reece James, don't want to see him.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, I don't want to see him. I want to see him in civvies. That's all until the next season starts. Because you know what they're
Absolutely.
going to do? They're going to get bloody injured and be out another season.
Well,
It's
what's
that
the point?
simple.
And with the
Yeah.
Euros coming up, they'll just come and prepare for the Euros and like Chilwell, get injured there.
Yeah.
I mean, Chile can't give us 90 minutes. That's insane. He
What
can't
was
play
the
90 minutes.
What was the stat? The last 3 seasons, he's missed 77 starts. He's played a third of all games in the last 3 seasons. So in other words, he's missed 2 out of the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, and he's out again.
Yeah.
It's
To me,
All right.
he's proven he can't sustain being
a
healthy.
No,
Yeah.
he can't. When you compare him to 39-year-old Thiago Silva, it's an absolute joke.
All right, Rosa, let's hear your lineup.
Yeah, it's the same. Because
You want to put that check here?
Yeah, of course. No, honestly, I don't see any. I mean, it's possible. It is possible that I'm not sure about Enzo's health. If Enzo isn't fit to go, then Gallagher goes there, and maybe Mudryk plays in the number 10.
So you're saying you don't differ. You don't differ from
Not at all.
Bobby at
Not,
all.
not at all. That's how exactly what I believe our coaching staff is going to pick. As I
think
said,
Palmer plays this game today.
Well, yeah, he could. See, this is what we're not privy to. We're not privy to the actual conditioning of the players. But I'm assuming he's not. He's listed as doubtful. So because of that, then we have to assume that there's a strong possibility he's not going to play, and that would be, the vast majority of odds that he's not playing. So because of that, it's not like he's possible. It's doubtful, which alludes to, by definition, that in all likelihood he's not going to play. Based on that, that's the only way that I'm basing my decisions, because of based on the actual definition of the word. And so, Enzo, I don't know. If he's not able to go, then as I said, Gallagher goes there, and probably you're looking at Mudryk playing there, or possibly, I don't know, Carney's conditioning, if he's able to play or start. But that's what I believe would happen. I'd be shocked if Sterling doesn't start. Plus, we only played a few days ago, and he hasn't started in several days. And with Mudryk's poor defensive, performance yet again, I think coaching staff is probably going to pick Sterling for this big game. But I hope he doesn't, actually. I really do. I even if we have to suffer through the errors that they make, I want to see him play every minute as possible, so that he can learn from this and he can be more experienced for next season and the following subsequent seasons to follow. That's my logic. Doesn't mean it makes sense, but that's how I think.
No, just you go away. You think it's saying that my handwriting you cannot sense it when I'm using a mouse to the computer mouse to try to write. Do you know how difficult that can be? Anyway, I'm still proud of how I'm able to write it, and you can still see that I wrote Bobby and wrote. Just go away, man. Don't talk to me.
Oh, I get it. I'm looking at the screen. I got it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
honestly, I think
it's
that's unless there's other news that we're not privy to. I think that's what exactly the coaching staff's going to pick. I don't see any other way.
yeah. Let's see anything else to address here. Let's see. Bobby Fairview is saying that I am betting on Palmer overcoming his illness in time. Puck said he will be reassessed. Yeah, that's actually a good sign. He's leaving at 10th, I guess, and that may well be the case. Yep. I feel like we get the best out of Casado as an 8. Gallagher drops it to a 6. Yeah, I agree too. Or even if Casado plays as a 6 alongside Gallagher, perfect balance there. That's not me saying Enzo is a bad player. They all have their skill set complements you can say that of the teammates in that role, if that makes sense. If Palmer doesn't show up, game is over. Washington needs to play instead of Jackson. Wow, some argument right there. Players are not responsible for the injuries, but it's just frustration. I hope you understand. This is most likely.
Why would you say Washington ahead?
No,
Washington can't even play. It isn't even that good in the under 21s.
in the developments.
Yeah, is that guys? Have you not been watching the youth team?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he can't
if anything, Whisper Richards is the person carrying the youth team at the moment.
Exactly.
Washington is not really.
I'm not sure why this huge appeal for no disrespect to him, but
because
it's
they
like
keep seeing him on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. He's not ready. He's not ready.
He's very much developing, and this is the thing with Chelsea fans: they don't, in their minds, allow players to develop.
Yes.
They think, oh, he's there, he's ready, or he came with a big price tag, play him, and all that. Oh, Santos, yeah, he's good, brilliant, play him. He has to play. He's a DM. No, he doesn't. What he has to do is develop.
Yeah. And I think them putting these youngsters on the bench is just to prepare them, to acclimate them. That's all they're doing for the most part. And God forbid, in case of an emergency, you know, if we get several red cards or injuries, that's the only reason.
Yes,
so
I agree. I totally
agree. Thank you so much. We're seeing some rumors swirling that PSG, they've inquired the availability of MykhailomMudryk. I think it's absolute nonsense. And I think the club, they're not looking to sell him because they know there's a good player in there. But that's, by the way, Roger, let's talk about it and round off with this. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about with regards to the game. I'm willing to hand over the show and help the boys get ready for school. But here's what I'm going to ask you, Roger. What do we need to do to win this one? I guess a well-rehearsed Arsenal side, well-oiled, whatever language you want to use, they're more of a team than we are. But let's hear you.
Well, they're more veteran. They haven't suffered as many injuries we have. They've got a coaching staff that's been in place for a multitude of years, 4th season, I believe. So that they have everything that's going for them. What do we need to do to achieve a victory? There's only 2 things that we need to do. That is, don't give away defensive errors that lead to goals, and 2, be more clinical when opportunities arise. If we can do that, then we stand a good chance of bettering them. But more often than not, that's not the case, and that's what I see on a weekly basis for the most part. These are the 2 aspects that lead us more often than not to dropping points on a weekly basis.
I'm guessing I'm going to say one thing off the bat that I'm quite sure Bobby will say. Play a 3-man midfield. Bobby, let's hear you. What do we need to do to beat Arsenal?
Do you know what? I can't argue with what Roger said. Surprise, surprise. It's that
Checks in the mail, Bobby.
yeah, it's that simple to observe. Indeed, and our finishing has to be good. And yes, we will need to have three in midfield, as we did against City, because they're very strong in midfield. Odegaard, um, um, Declan Rice, and whoever, even having Jorginho there with those two around him, he becomes dangerous because he has the physicality to protect him, so he can look to just spray balls. So we do need to crowd the midfield as much as possible. That's where their game is. Um, that's it. And we have to be clinical. You fail to be clinical against a team like this, and you're just asking for trouble. But, I don't think we have enough in terms of the lack of our best players. They have all their best players, both those that they can field outfield and those that they can bring off the bench. It's it's a Herculean task on their home patch.
Indeed.
It's a massive task. I struggle to see beyond it. I really do. I'm just going in there with a prayer. But hey, prayers are often things that can manifest into reality. So I, I never bet against my club, but I look at this and I'm like, well, I don't know where to go from here because of personnel deficiencies.
I'm hoping for a draw, Bobby, realistically.
A draw would be good. Just
Optimistically
get them to
speaking,
drop points.
that'll be success in my eyes, based on the circumstances that surrounds this game.
Yeah,
It's
it would be an achievement.
it's unrealistic to think of anything other than that, really, based on what we know so far. It's hard. It's really hard to say. I don't know. I'm also looking forward to watching a lot more of Chalobah because he's actually been quite good since returning from injury. He's been consistent. Let's put it that way. So
Chalobah has always been a good defender. I think
yeah,
Chalobah's problem was his injuries. He got injured a lot, even before the Pochettino years. I think Pochettino, as I've said on this program, I think he likes him. He made him captain in pre-season before he went off injured. And I think if it's left to him, he will keep him. Chalobah at the moment is proving himself to be our best centre back that's available. Now,
In all
does
honesty,
he?
he's been.
Yeah. Does he have a mistake in him? Yeah, but I think those mistakes are mainly due to the fact that he hasn't played for so long. And if you notice, they were in his earlier return games. In more recent ones, especially Everton, he kind of was a little bit iffy at times, not totally, but at times. But certainly against Man City, he had an excellent game. So personally, I wouldn't sell Chalobah. I don't see the point. I would rather at this point see Badiashile get sold than Chalobah.
do you know what I find
Yeah.
concerning about Chalobah is the fact that he's missed so many games, but it's not over a massive injury like a reconstructive knee surgery. It seems to be the little things. He's always got a knock, and it prevents him from playing.
Well, he did
That's
have a hamstring, which isn't a little thing as
sure,
such.
sure. It's the biggest muscle group, yeah.
Yeah. So
But you know what I'm saying, though? It's like we have a plethora of
Mhm.
hamstring issues in this entire squad, but you get where I'm coming from, though, right?
yeah, I mean, prior
Yeah.
to that,
Just
they were relative.
just one moment, Bobby. The people in the chat, they're not paying attention to the show again. They are obsessing over my handwriting that I didn't write with the pen, with the go away. All of you just go. Coach didn't pass handwriting class, right? That's what's important to you. Then us beating Arsenal, right? And let me see what the Bluetooth game has to
I
say
think
here.
they've given
This
up.
is Steve. It's going to get destroyed at right back. It just doesn't have the pace. And here, well, excuse me.
Bless
I
you.
think he would. Thank you so much, Roger. I think he would do well there. What else do we have here? Just quickly, Petrovic, Decisive, Silva, Chalobah, Kukurea, Gallagher, Casado, Sterling, Carney, Mudryk. I think Carney may well come in, but if Carney comes in, which means definitely Mudryk isn't starting. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll find out. This coach, why are you letting your son write on the screen? Just go away. He's working with me. Do I need to report you to violating child level laws? You're looking for my trouble right now. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Richard, go ahead. Were you saying something, or was Bobby saying something?
I think it was Bobby, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did Arsenal kick our butt the last time, really?
No, it was 2-2. In fact, it was until the 78th minute. You know, if it wasn't for a certain charity from Sanchez, I think we go on and get all 3 points. We obviously have proven we can't sustain a multiple goal lead. There is one thing I want to talk about, and it has nothing to do with the fact that why we lost the last game at Wembley. Is the fact that after watching the game multiple times, I don't think Gallagher is best suited to playing on the left. I would rather him play as a number 6 or a number 10.
Yep, the two places. I'd rather actually the number on the left. You see, I don't understand the rationale behind that, and nobody has asked the manager the question. I don't know. Maybe he does that if we have teams that have good players on the flanks. Maybe.
I think it's more productive playing in the middle, the way he presses, and so forth. And obviously, as a number 6, I watched the game the third time, watching him, concentrating on him more. I don't think he was as productive. That has nothing to do with why we lost, but I still feel the reason. I just don't think it took advantage of his strength, shall we say?
Josh is saying the point will be Fofana coming back, and that's sweet pure profit. That would be the point. Let's see. I keep dropping the likes on the stream. Pardon me for taking you back. Kalu in his first season scored 7 goals. I think that's important. And how many goals does Jackson have right now?
Yeah, but coach, 3 of them were against a 9-man team, and he missed another hat trick in that.
Okay,
game.
-3. How many does he have in total? -3, and he has more assists than Kalu. I'm saying, I'm not saying he's better than Kalu. I've mentioned the aspect where I think he's better
different
than
kind
Kalu.
of players.
Technically, I think he's more technical than Kalu, and I think
Jackson's already on 15 goals.
Exactly. So -3, even Roger -5.
Hold on. Jackson scored 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many.
That's not league though. I'm talking about league. I think he's
even
got
in
10.
the league, I think he has more. And
He's
Kalu's
got 10.
I'm quite sure it's not just league goals. Yes, Tim. But my main point is that they're different.
Yeah, they're very, very different kind of profile of players too. Listen. Jackson's impressed me, but Jackson, I'm very frustrated with him, especially aerially. He's aerially technically inept. He just is. Unless, listen, that doesn't mean to say he can't be a great player in the future. I'm talking about as of right now, this date to date, he has proven that he is not able to take advantage aerially when presented him the opportunity.
Yeah,
and that's what I find frustrating.
Roger, somebody did. I think it was Deborah Markunju that said that in the chat. That what's his name? Kalu was already established before he joined us, but we knew when we were signing Jackson. At least some people knew that we were signing a raw player.
He's very raw. He's very, very raw.
So my point is, for me, he has more to his game, but he's not at Kalu's level yet.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a better player than Kalu. There's some stuff. Yeah, Kalu probably better finisher. But
Jackson does some things amazingly well, like link-up play. You know, holding the ball up, making.
Kalu doesn't have much
goals.
of that.
Yeah, but I'm saying just generally what he's done this season. I think his positive attributes he's done very well, and you can see he's progressed as the season has continued. He definitely has improved. The only thing that I say that he hasn't improved, that he has regressed on, was his composure, because in pre-season he looked awfully composed. Each and every goal he scored, he looked.
That's down to his confidence.
Yeah. And then once the season continued, started, I should say, he looked anything but composed. He looked like a shadow of him, himself in pre-season. And yeah, I understand, especially that position. It's a confidence, position more than probably any other, and or maybe goalkeeper too. But to me, he's lacked composure on quite. Listen, bearing in mind the fact he's only 22 and he's very young, playing for the first time in this league. So yeah, I take that into consideration. But I'm sorry, the fact that you're missing sitters, and that's not just me saying that. That's a lot of people that have played the game at the highest level.
That's too obvious, actually.
Yeah, it's cost us points. Listen, I don't mind if he's missing a 28-yard shot, or some hard, really technical shots. No problem with that. But when you're missing sitters, literally tap-ins, that's what I have an issue with. But we do need to stay patient. I mean, yeah, I get that. But still, it's hard to. It's a bitter pill to swallow. It's a bitter pill to swallow that he's missing sitters. Listen, everyone does. As I said, you give me enough tape on a player, I can make Messi look like he's never kicked a ball before, right? It's that simple, because it's a round object that moves, right? So and it can be made to make any player look silly. But you know why I'm going with that. I don't wish to crucify him, because that's not my intent. It's just frustrating that he's missing sitters. That's what I have an issue with. Other than that, listen, he's been outstanding for us this year. What he's done as a team player, I really think he's exceeded my expectations for his first year. But I'm just frustrated that he's not consistent. That's all.
Just mentioning here that Roger, I think Chalobah was sidelined for refusing to accept sale to a lower club, just like Martin was supposed to be injured. Have you seen Martin's goal in the Champions League? He's balling, and he's come out and said he doesn't want to. He want to join them on a permanent. Let's see Javier line up Petrovic just to see Chalobah, Silva, Cucurella, Casado, Fernandez, Madueke. The giveaway is for the panelists. If you want to come onto the panel, say your lineup, and we'll see. Let's see what we have here. Madueke starts. Okay, let's see. Looks like Joe. You're going there. Coach, end the stream. The referee has no hair. Ooh.
Who is the ref tonight? Do we know? Please tell me it's not.
Who's that? Simon Hooper. I don't know him.
Oh, sounds familiar.
Is that how you pronounce his last name? Hooper? Is it Hooper?
Yeah. Listen, the level of refereeing this season in the Premier League has been, on average, quite poor. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is indeed. And quickly here, I like to see Carney too. I like to see him. Carney as 10. I think will work. The people who don't love leave Coachella alone will be don't mind him. Hey, you're Michi, why? You're in the house it's like 1,000 years. When last did I see you?
Hey,
I don't like this guy. But Michi, more importantly, nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. I remember the last time I read any comment from you was as a comment you told me you're watching, but you've been busy. I hope that the cases that you've been busy truly, and that nothing bad has happened on your end. Nice to see you, Michi. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. How are things with you? I want to know. I think Nightbot probably he's done that for me.
I think
I'm not. My chat doesn't participate here. Bobby, were you saying something?
Yeah, I'm saying just to follow up on this referee issue. I don't think particularly the standards of our referees has dipped. They all attend courses, they're all trained and versed in the laws and so on. I think the level of bias and corruption is a problem. And we find ourselves bullied into not being able to say, just like everything in this modern world, you're controlled and bullied to accept what the narrative is. You know, you get somebody like Mike Dean. Mike Dean. Mike Dean. Imagine Mike Dean coming and telling us that we are out of order for pointing out Michael Oliver's or Anthony Taylor's, who was it that took the Nottingham Forest game? They don't even want to talk about the Chelsea game. You know, saying that we are out of order for pointing out their clear bias. You will never clean up a problem if if you keep sweeping it under the carpet. The only way to deal with a problem is to face the realities and to be brutal about it. And to be brutally honest, we have a crop of referees that are biased by corruption and favor certain teams. That has got to stop. That has got to stop. It's damaging the game. And for us to pretend like, oh, nothing to see here, move on. No, it's happening too often to be a coincidence. It's targeting, and I'll use Chelsea as an example. Why is it whenever Chelsea is in a position to win a trophy, at the very last hurdle, we have referees that assist the other team? And let's not pretend that this is not possible to do. It really is. You can make a team win. You know that you can clear. It's clear that they wanted an all Manchester FA Cup final for whatever reason. Now that doesn't take away our inability to finish.
Bobby, one second. Roger, it's your show now.
You got it, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hang around much longer as well. But, you know, that doesn't take away our inability to finish, which didn't help us. But when you have a referee looking to support the performance of another team by denying a blatant penalty, I just think it's not acceptable, and
Do
it
you know
needs to.
what though, Bobby? I saw it yesterday. I watched the game again yesterday,
Yeah,
and you know, the more I see that handball incident, and the
the
more
clearer it is.
the more it's so blatant a penalty.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
like, yeah, and I use this as the litmus test. If this was a Chelsea defender doing that, I'd say, yeah, it's a penalty. We need to
yeah.
concede a penalty. That, because you have to be honest and you know, and give a balanced perspective. It was that blatant. It's like, and the fact that the VAR didn't ask the ref to go to the monitor. That's where I have the problem. Obviously,
Well, to be fair to VAR, somebody posted the transcript
yeah, I'm
of the
not sure if that's
discussion.
official though.
Sorry?
I'm not sure whether that's official transcript.
One thing is funny. One thing why I'm inclined to listen to it was that the conversation went as such. Do you believe this is a penalty? The the referee, Michael Oliver, said no. So then it's a free kick. Came VA. Then it's a corner kick.
Corner, yeah.
The referee said no, it's a goal kick. That was what did it for me, because it was, if it wasn't a goal, then it was a corner kick because it came off the
But here's the
Man
deal:
City
VAR can't.
player.
Yeah, but here's the deal: VAR can't do that. Like, just like, for instance, VAR can't intervene and say there's a yellow card. They can only intervene on potential penalty fouls or red cards. That's the only thing they can do.
No, it
You
wasn't.
know,
I
or
mean,
offside, of course.
he gave a wrong call, so that tells me
Yeah, but
that there
they
was a.
can't give a corner. I've seen it
Yeah,
before where
I'm,
the officials have spoke
I'm
about
not
it.
I'm not saying that they can,
Yeah.
but what that tells me is that there was a cover up. There was a wrong call, because there was no way that wasn't a corner. The trajectory of the
Right,
ball
sure. Right.
changed.
I totally, no argument for me. It's like that's another thing. It's not like it was to me. It was quite obvious,
Yeah.
and just only looking at the ball, not the contact with the ball following. But because the original call was a goal kick, then it can't be overturned to give to a corner. Just to let you know. But I totally. So did you watch El Clasico? The 2 nights ago, Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Did you
No.
watch it at all? The reason why I say that is two things. One, I can't believe Spain's La Liga is the only top 5 league that doesn't have goal line technology. And B is, wow, they're officiating with regards to VAR. They are so much faster. Plus, they have AI for offside. You know, it's done at such a faster rate. They're very efficient compared to the average Premier League VAR refereeing. It's noticeable. Even the commentators talked about it. It's quite. They take it up another notch. So I don't see why we can't. You know, the Premier League. When I say that,
In a somewhat lesser league. I'm
yeah,
disappointed. You know, I think the more you hide and intimidate people from calling corruption,
mm.
the more it persists. You have to be able to be transparent, even when it's
Yes.
embarrassing.
Bobby, that's just it. You just nailed it. It's all about transparency. Same with, for instance, a police force. You must have transparency, you know, or
Yeah,
a
yeah.
government, so to speak, unless it's national security seekers. That's different. But going to refereeing, I totally agree. Like, for instance, we should be able to hear what VAR and the referees are saying.
Yeah.
You know, we should be able to. They do it in other sports, like I believe rugby, whether it's rugby league or union. I always get confused. They've done that with the women's World Cup. I think it was the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, last year, and it's great. Especially more so not for people that are not at the game, but more so for the people that are actually in attendance, because they have no idea what's going on. At least we're given the advantage of, you know, the commentators and instant replay. I think it should be done. I really do. I think. Do you think that will take place soon, or am I dreaming?
What you mean?
Greater
Uh,
transparency, like
yeah.
listening to
We listen to the conversation and
yeah,
so on.
yeah.
I
Go on.
I don't know. You know, I really don't know. I think you see, our officials in the Premier League are more interested in being defensive
Yeah.
than being transparent.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I say let us hear these conversations. That is in itself, by definition, being transparent. Does that make
Yeah, and
sense?
that's the very reason why they would rather you didn't hear it,
Yeah. Well,
because you would hear all the mistakes, and the fans' kickoff is what they're afraid of. And yet again, that sort of lends to my point that there is a whitewash going on. There is a cover up
Well,
to.
the Spurs Chelsea game with that Geordie referee, I always forget his name. He's on NBC a lot. He's actually
Is it
really
Tierney?
funny. No, not Tony. He's retired now. But it's the gentleman that basically said I should. I can't remember whether it was 2 or 3 red cards. He said, but I do want to be the story. Well, it doesn't matter whether you're the story or not. If you see the
Oh,
red card is warranted, you give it regardless.
that
If
was
you have to
Anthony
stand up.
Taylor that did that.
No, it wasn't Anthony Tate. It was the Geordie. He's really.
Geordie?
I forget his name. I always forget his name for some reason. You think I would be able to remember it by now? But anyway, that's the chap. And he's the one that said, you know, it was the one that cost Spurs, where we drew with them, and we prevented them from winning the league. And it was Clattenburg. Thank you, Mitchie. It's
Oh, it's
Clattenburg,
Mark
Mark
Clattenburg.
Clattenburg.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's the
didn't
one
know it
that
was
said.
Geordie.
Yeah, he was the one that said I should have given more. There should have been 2 or 3 more red cards, but I didn't want to be part of the story. I wanted the players to be. Well, just by admitting it several years later, you are the story, which,
Oh, yeah.
you
I
know, to
mean,
me,
another thing that infuriates me and shows that there is dishonesty going on. You will now find, taking Chelsea as an example, that because of that denied penalty incident, they will seek a game where there's relatively nothing at stake,
mm,
and they will give Chelsea a decision. And you
perhaps,
know, so that they can turn around and say, "Oh, well, after all, Chelsea get decisions." You know, that sort of thing. They are
yeah.
constantly on the defensive.
But
Now,
Bobby, But Bobby, you know what? It's really hard officiating the game. It's I don't have a problem with the referee making a mistake in real time. What I do have a problem is with the people involved. They have ungodly amounts of camera angles, and they have the ability within 15 to 30 seconds to tell the ref, you need to come to the monitor. We believe there's been an error, or we believe you've missed something. And guess what? That could be rectified. It's so hard refereeing a game, whether you're a linesman or an actual ref. It's tough. Virtually refereeing any sport is so bloody hard. But do
I
you see what I'm
understand
saying?
that.
But it's the
Although
VAR people that I have the issue with. This is what I have. You know, they should be telling the ref, you need to see this. And the ref shouldn't be saying no. The ref should be saying, okay, you know, that's what I have a problem with. I
yeah,
have
I
no
mean,
problem with people making mistakes, mate.
I understand that, and
Yeah,
there is the issue of there are linesmen or whatever, but I understand it's very difficult,
it's
especially
hard,
as
mate.
fast paced game as it is.
Yeah,
But the trouble is, these errors are not errors that one would say are difficult to spot. A
yeah,
handball from a
yeah,
dead ball situation
yeah.
that the referee is watching is not
Checkmate.
difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me? I think my
Yeah,
alarm
I
was
can hear
going
you,
off.
mate.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Bobby? I don't think you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me? It's like this bloody advert in America.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, my alarm interrupted us. Yeah, I mean, so my take in this is, look, there is a bias. It does exist. I understand that there is a reluctance after you've spent so much money training a referee that not many people want to be anyway, turning around and having to fire them. Of course, it's a big call to make.
Yeah.
I get it. But you can grade the referees in that based on their performance, you grade them or downgrade them as the case may be, to the point where, should they persistently be found to be negligent or
Yeah.
biased, as is the case of someone like Anthony Taylor, and indeed Michael Oliver, then they get kicked out. Now, are you saying that of all the referees that we've produced, you can't get new ones? I would rather there be a dearth and a struggle for referees than us investing in corruption. We have to bite the bullet at some point. And if you find that, oh, okay, we've got rid of all these referees because of their misbehavior, that we don't have referees, so be it. We then find a solution based on that. Honesty has to supersede this madness, because at the moment, what we have is a cartel of corrupt, dishonest, biased referees that are influencing games, creating situations based on whatever influence is behind them. And believe me, I believe there is an influence behind them, and it's not helping the game. The integrity of the game should be paramount, and we cannot pretend we have a game that has integrity at the moment. Honestly, we've got to. I mean, I remember when all the betting thing first came out, back in the day, when they started plucking players out for betting. It was horrible. You look at a game and people started questioning results. Oh gosh, did this error happen genuinely, or did they chuck the game? Now, as uncomfortable as it was, especially when people like Bruce Globalar was done. I think it was early 90s, was it? Or was that in the 80s? I can't remember. He was done for betting. It became such a scandal. But I would rather that, because it was from there that there was a turning point, and the whole issue of betting remarkably reduced. Does it still happen? Well, Ivan Toney has proved that it does. But look at the punishment in the rare cases in which we find it. So we have to target these referees. Are there many of them? Well, we all know their names, so they're not that many. Anthony Taylor, Mark Clattenburg, what's his name, Tierney, the one, not Mark Clattenburg, because he's gone now, hasn't he? He's retired. But Anthony Taylor, Michael Oliver, this guy called Tierney is another one, and yet there's another one whose name I always forget.
Yeah, there's a few
You
of
know,
them.
well, there's about four that I can remember off the top of my head. Now, if you take the worst of those and make an example of them, the others will fall in line. Trust me.
Hey, can I ask you a question about today's game? Do you see us playing in another formation other than a 4-2-3-1? Do you see us playing with the back three, or do you see this coach doing anything different to accommodate the fact that we're going to be missing so many players? Could you see him being more pragmatic?
No,
No, okay.
I don't
Just
think he
curious.
has. And I don't think he has enough faith in the level of rehearsal of the team to be able to start off at least with something different. He will go with what has been tried and tested in terms of formation and what he knows they can do from the training ground.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just thought maybe because, you know, we seem to be down to our third, fourth string players on some places. I thought maybe he may try to minimize the damage based on the fact that A, we're playing away from home, and B, we're playing against a very tough team. So I just thought perhaps he may change his mindset. I don't know. I just thought it's possible, perhaps. But yeah, I get it.
I mean, it's who knows, but I can't see him do that, because I think if he does that and the predicted happens in terms of, you know, the negative result, he will face an added backlash,
Yeah,
because
I get it.
people will say, "Oh, you shouldn't have, you know, changed the team formation," or you know what fans are like.
Yeah.
They will always find a reason to crucify you.
Are you apprehensive about this game tonight? I am.
I am. I
Yeah.
am deeply concerned, especially if Palmer's not playing. Even if he is playing, I'll be wondering just how fit is he.
Yeah. Apparently, he hasn't practiced all week, and
There you go.
probably he's dehydrated or whatever. If he's sick, right? I think it's a possibility he may come off the bench as maybe a sub last 10, 15 minutes, perhaps. I don't know, but doesn't bode well. Speaking of benches, I think our benches is going to be so bloody thin.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
think who's going to be Caesar Cassidy. Listen, we don't have a centre back to come off the bench. We're going to be playing three at the same time.
I have a concern with Cesare Cassidy, and it's a concern that I've kind of had even in pre-season when he was featuring a lot, is that I seem to notice that he's quite languid. He's not really the quickest. Now, that could be a wrong assessment because I haven't seen him, you know, in a full game in the Premier League, and I haven't really seen him up against, you know, Premier League opposition. But each time, you know, even on the few minutes he came on, he just seemed languid to me. He just seemed so ponderous, especially for such a young
yeah,
player.
yeah. Do you
Um, I don't know. That gives me concern
do you
with him.
think there's any chance that Gilchrist gets a start tonight?
Yeah, there's a chance. It's
Small
not
though.
starting him, but it's just, will he be able to do well? Because I've noticed in the right back position, going defending, he's fairly okay. But that right back, he plays his right backs like wing backs, and they are very much part of the offensive play. And he's lacking there. You know, he doesn't seem to be able to beat his man. He doesn't seem to really be able to get into the box, and he's lacking. That's my concern. And in a quick paced game, as it will be against Arsenal, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if what he'll bring to the party, but we may not have a choice. I don't think he'll start him. That's for sure.
You know what though? I think if this RC does start at right back, I see it where he's probably not going to be asked to go that much forward, and he's probably going to play a hybrid back three where Cucurella will probably go forward more. Do you see where I'm coming from? So I think there's that strong possibility. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, Cucurella will go forward more depending on how Arsenal attack.
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah. You know, it's if they are not that left-hand side, the person on the left wing will have to be able to drop back and help. And you and I both know that the left-hand side, the people that cover that, people like Sterling or Modric or even Noni, if he shifts to the left, they're not the best offensively.
What's our right winger for England? What's his name? I can see his face. I forget his name for Arsenal. Yeah, he doesn't track back a lot either, you know. So we could take advantage of that, if you see what I mean.
Yes. But they have their midfield trio that's very adept, and their defensive line is very adept.
Ben White is their right back, isn't he?
There you go.
Yeah, who's a centre back. So, yeah, I don't know. They defensively are they're tough to penetrate. They don't usually concede goals, you know. So I don't know.
Well, it's going to be a difficult game without Palmer, as I say, and without a fit Palmer. And you know, it's all very well saying, "Oh, we're not." You know, Poch coming out and saying, "Oh, we have to prove we're not a Cole Palmer team." I don't think anybody's even thinking that. The issue is Cole Palmer has been our standout player.
He's our talisman, isn't he?
Yeah, the only sort of key player that has been available to us. And without him, we then start looking who's going to score goals. Is it Jackson that fluffs his chances? Who is going to be the goal scorer? Because at the moment, he's the only one. And that's why I then turn on the likes of Nkunku, Reece James, and yeah, it's not their fault, perhaps, that they're injured. But I do feel that there's a level of personal onus you have to take for your fitness, you know, like Ben Chilwell. Because then you ask yourself, why is it that players like Cristiano Ronaldo, as exceptional as they are, maybe they're the wrong example, but, you know, these guys play at a very, very high rate for what, 50, 60, you know, more games a season, and they remain fit. Look at how high profile they are. And, you know, we have all these other high profile players constantly pulling up with injuries, constantly struggling to get back to fitness. You know, you're a professional athlete, a highly paid one. There must be a level of responsibility to your own body that's down to you. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo built a gym in his home with the big wages he earns. You know, I just don't think.
Do you think it's their youth that's the issue also, because their bodies are developing?
Well, it's certainly not the case for Nkunku, is it?
Yeah, true.
You know, Reece James maybe, but even then, that's no excuse for not being able to take care of yourself. Because people like Messi and Ronaldo, I'm just using them because they're high-profile examples.
Of course.
You know, they were of that age once, and they kept themselves fit. And
I got to admit, Bobby, there is a certain element of luck with you know, maintaining health. You know, being able to play. Yeah, and I get that. And obviously, like, I got to admit though, we give Chilwell a lot of grief, but don't forget that the first injury he had was a contact injury that blew out his knee. So
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
Juventus game, you can't
this
avoid
is
that. So I get it, but still,
this is yet another point I have. You know, contact injuries are unavoidable,
sure,
but the recovery rate can be managed better. You know, I look at other clubs who have had injuries. Very few, if any, have had this sort of season-long, month
yeah,
after month injury that Chelsea have, and
and we
that's where
see,
we then start attacking
yeah,
the
medical
medical
staff,
staff,
yeah,
and then I go a step further to the player. How much of your own self rejuvenation are you
sure,
doing? And that's where it all comes in, because then I then use the examples of your likes of Ronaldo and Messi. They got injured as well, but they work so damn hard
yeah,
to one, avoid these injuries,
tired
and
too.
two, to come back,
Yeah.
recover. Now these guys aren't recovering, and I don't know why. You know,
Also, if you also seriously in the last, and it's not just this season, by the way, it's the last several seasons.
yeah.
The degree and frequency of hamstring injuries is, I
Well,
don't know.
that then we need to look at our whole sort of training issues,
Yeah,
diet issues. There needs to be a thorough review, because this situation this season cannot be acceptable. Surely,
no,
the club can't just look at this and think this is a
the
normal
norm.
thing, because
Yeah.
it's not.
If we're
It's
having this same conversation this time next year, Bobby, then there's
oh,
something awry, because this can't continue at the same frequency and it not to be, coincidental. It just can't, because no other team experiences this level of
of
injuries.
injury.
Yeah,
Someone's head will have to roll. I mean, I look at Wesley Fofana. Okay, you got injured, mate. I get it. But you never recover. Why is that?
yeah. I,
Why is that?
that
Is
could
it the
be
medical
genetics.
team? Is it,
Yeah,
well,
I,
if it's genetics, then the issue then is, are you meant to be a Premier League footballer at all?
yeah, or professional footballer, regardless, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's another matter. And then, a decision has to be made. But if it's that you think you are and you're not recovering, then something has to be done with your medical regimes, your physiology, and your own strict discipline to maintaining fitness. And I'll put the same question to Ben Chilwell as well. They have to be part of the recovery
of
process.
course. So I have a question for you, Bobby, and I'm trying to not spin it, but I'm trying to look at it as a positive manner. Do you think this could be a pleasant surprise for us to play without Palmer? Not obviously as a results base, but do you think that this may be maybe the players are relying on him too much? Maybe you'll see a different approach from other players on the Chelsea team to maybe step up and take responsibility to lead
To be
by
honest, I don't
example.
think the players are relying on him too much.
Okay,
By
okay,
mere fact that Jackson has had so many chances, several of which he created himself,
yeah,
and
true,
Noni, I think they are all doing what they should do. I don't think they are focused on him. It's just he's the one that's finishing, and the
yeah,
others are not.
and
Now,
creating,
well, yeah, he's creating, but the others are also creating. Creation is not the problem, it's finishing.
yeah,
Now, is it good that he's not there and they're playing without him? Well, he wasn't there at the start of the season and somehow they survived. I think it's a matter of, well, what are the options? If we put, for example, Modric as number 10, is he a finisher? Well, his decision making is quite clearly poor.
yeah,
My only hope for that would be Carney if he's fit,
sure.
because his decision making is far better. So is his finishing, so is his ball control, and so is his passing. So he
Mudryk
would
to
be the
me,
obvious replacement.
yeah,
Sorry.
Mudryk to me, he's frustrating because he does he makes some passes that are really hard look so easy, and yet within the same breath you see him make and miss a 2-yard pass. I've seen
Yeah.
it so many times where he makes the easy look so hard and he makes the easy look so easy. So hard. It's he's frustrating in that sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't listen. He's raw. I think he's our most raw player in so many regards. I really
Yeah.
do.
Well,
But
certainly in the first team squad. Now, does it
yeah,
mean we don't persist? Well, of course we should persist because we are. This is the project we're in, a developmental project. We are
mm,
playing a development team, as it were, without it actually being the development team. The development team is just a step lower, but this is a development team, whether we like it or not.
I
And
really, I really want to see him start over Sterling tonight. I really do, regardless of his defensive deficiencies, the way he switches off, even if it costs us. You know, I just want to see him getting more minutes. I really do for the future. I'm looking at long-term gain as opposed to short-term losses. You know, I just really believe that. I think in the long term, it's going to benefit us more, assuming he pans out, if that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, there is value in that, depending on where he starts. Is it on the left? Is it number 10?
Where do you prefer him, Bobby?
Sorry?
Where do you prefer him?
Well, on the left, offensively, he's okay, but
Mm,
defensively, he's diabolical and he creates problems for Cucurella and our midfield that have to constantly try and cover up for his absence. And
mm,
we've seen that certainly in set pieces in our box. Um, and in that sense, I would rather see, people say that Noni's dreadful defensively. Well, he's not the best, but I think he's certainly better than Modric,
yeah,
because often you do see him defending in our area and in our box. So if you're going to play him, maybe, especially if Carney is not fit, he goes into the 10. But the 10 has a defensive responsibility as well.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because that would mean definitely, because I can't see Gallagher or Caicedo being dropping. That would be suicide. So that would mean Enzo drops. Now, does he provide that midfield quality of Enzo? No. So this is the problem we have with him, and this is why he has to come. In my view, he has to come off the bench, which is not a bad thing, to probably plugging a left wing gap. To me, I'm praying that Carney's fit enough. I can't remember how much he played against Man City. I don't think it was many minutes.
it wasn't.
So that tells its story.
Yeah. Do you know
It's
what though?
unfortunate.
I wouldn't mind. And listen, I've said this. You know that there is that exception that when he didn't play, um, there was no difference against Everton. But generally speaking, when Enzo's not playing, we don't seem to have that same chemistry passing the ball. But today, I wouldn't mind him not playing and having Gallagher back there for obvious
Well, definitely.
reasons, and then
Definitely.
have Carney, assuming he's healthy enough, or even Mudryk as the number 10. I wouldn't mind that.
Well, for me, this is another thing. This is why I raised the issue of Cassidy. Um, you know, he's young, and we are at that stage where we're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
Is he capable of that? Because that is his role, that is his position. Does he have? And that why I mentioned his apparent lack of pace is that if you're playing Arsenal, it's a pace game.
sure, but
Period.
it's also he's a unit. He wins balls in the air. He's big. He's
Exactly,
strong.
and he needs to, and he would hassle their DMs like
Right.
Declan Rice and so on. So I wouldn't mind seeing him there, and it
Do
will
you
be a
think the
huge
coach?
challenge for him.
Do you think the coaching staff are trying to protect him? Because
Possibly a little
yeah,
bit of that, because if
yeah,
he's not quite up to scratch, they won't throw him to the wolves, will
yeah,
they?
exactly. That's what I'm leaning to. Yeah, I think that's part of the equation. I really do.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I honestly believe that the 11 you picked, that's how I see Poch picking it. I really do.
Yeah, we don't really have anything else.
No.
I'm deeply concerned with Enzo playing with a fast turnaround. You know, I noticed him being, there were flashes of him having movement against Man City, but there were far too many times he was pedestrian, far too many times. And that I think is a reflection of his injury, his fitness. And, you know, you play him on a fast turnaround. He,
When did we
you
last
know,
play? Was it Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So you know
And
what?
we've seen it before. You know, he's dreadful after a fast turnaround because of his injury.
There is a strong possibility then that, you know, I kept for some reason I thought it was longer than that. Then you know what? I think Gallagher could be in the number 6. It's who's to say, but I think he leans too much on Enzo and Caicedo. Well, not that we have much depth anyway, but
Well, if Gallagher's 6, the question then rises,
yeah,
who is the 10? Because the 10 has to play with defensive responsibilities. It's Arsenal we're playing, who have a very fluent and rehearsed and compact midfield. So we need numbers in the middle of the park. Now, who would that be? That cannot be Modric. It's not that sort of game where you have to go forward and neglect covering the back. It needs to be somebody who can do that. Now, Palmer can do that. Carney can do that, but there's questions around their fitness. So, so the person that has to. That's why I keep looking at. Cassidy in terms of what we've got. You know, I don't know. I'm not at the training ground, but if he's able, I would say play him because he's the only one that will acknowledge his and stand up to his defensive responsibilities. He's the only one that physically can stand up to Arsenal midfielders, and it would be useful to us. He's a goal scorer. You know, my concern with him is just his pace. So that is the gamble in view of our personnel that I'm looking at. It'll be interesting to see what he does. If he does use him, then it shows that the kid has proved himself in training. If he doesn't, then you're quite right. He's being protected because he's been pants in training. Those are the conclusions I will have
yeah,
tonight if I don't see him.
yeah. I
Because
think the
right
rest
now
of
we are at the bottom of the barrel.
yeah, I think actually Carney could be the key because if he is hypothetically able to start, I think that may make up the coaching staff's mind to say, you know what, Gallagher in the number 6 because Enzo's touch and go from
Yeah,
3 days
absolutely.
ago.
And that would be a good solution for us. That
Yeah,
would be a very good solution for us.
I
I
just
don't want to see Enzo in a fast turnaround game. I don't think it helps him. You know, we could be creating another long-term injury situation because although it's a hernia, and you know, people like perhaps yourself that have experienced hernias, but
yeah
you've experienced hernias and it's been treated. I doubt if you've experienced hernias and they've um, given you injections to continue and
no,
exacerbate the situation,
not
especially
at
as a
all.
high-level athlete. And this
Yeah,
is what's happening with him. So I'm not in support. In fact, I would rather, should Carney be fit, have Enzo coming off the bench for the rest of the season, and then go for your surgery.
yeah.
You know?
But hold on one
But
second.
today he has to be on the bench, really.
But who played in the Saturday game though? We didn't have Enzo, did we?
In midfield, Enzo played. He started. He played 90 minutes. That's why I'm concerned.
Oh, the Man City game. Yeah.
Yeah, he played 90 minutes, and even the 90 minutes, he was struggling a
I
bit.
was thinking of the other game. Sorry. Yeah. That's right. Did he not get subbed off at all? Let me look.
No,
He played the whole 90.
well,
No, he got. Oh well,
yeah,
yeah, he got subbed off on the 88th minute. So we
yeah,
basically, yeah,
yeah.
that's you. Yeah.
So you know, he and even then, there were times he would run, showing what he can do, but a lot of the time he was pedestrian, and I believe that's his injury. causing that. Then you want to play him 2-3 days later? No, no chance. That's crazy. One, he won't be able to. His performance will be a problem. And two, um, you're going to exacerbate the injury.
Yeah, so Mudryk didn't start, did he? So he came on. So I listen. I'm looking at the bench now from Saturday's game. Badiashile didn't play, or didn't start. Sterling didn't start. Mudryk didn't start. So, it's
You're
going to
in
be
the issue there is that in the absence of Enzo, that leaves Gallagher and Caicedo definitely
sure.
pivoting. They will go up and down, but they're going to have their hands full. They've got to keep an eye on Odegaard. They've got to make sure what he did at the bridge in terms of picking a ball like that. And they have to be very, very Saka. All these people, they have to be very, very, they must have their wits about them for sure.
Well, the good
Now,
news is Saka is not in a rich vein of form. He's having actually quite a quote-unquote subpar season by his standards.
I'm not relying on that. That's for
No,
sure.
no, of course not. But I mean, that's some good news, because don't forget, a lot of it is luck. When you play a team that's in form and out of form, that has a lot to do with Lady Luck.
So coming to our personnel problem, in the absence of a fit Carney, Cassidy has to come into the picture. This is the time where we have to see what he's about, at least for 60, 70 minutes. Now,
It's a big ask, though, isn't it? It's a very big
call.
ask.
It is a big call. But people have been saying, oh, why is he on the bench? Well, this is why. He's developing. Yeah, he played at Leicester City. That was Leicester City. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I do see him play today, wow, flowers to him. You know what I mean? Big up to him, because that is
He probably comes off the bench in all likelihood.
Well, yeah.
Let's be real. I think
come off the bench for who? I don't want to see Mudryk as number 10 in this game. I don't think he's defensively sound enough. I don't want to see it.
I actually think he can do better in the number 10 spot defensively than he can on the left wing, because he has to track all the way back. While
no, you think he can stand up to Rice? I think he'll even struggle with with Jorginho.
But I'm talking about, when we don't have the ball, if we're in a 4-2-3-1, we then revert to a 4-4-2 a lot of the time out of possession. And that means that the wide players come back into the midfield, and the number 9, which is usually Jackson, and the number 10 are the two forwards in the 4-4-2. Does that make sense? This is what we normally do. So that would mean that it would be Jackson and Mudryk pressing up front. And that would negate him from coming all the way back, if that makes sense. You see my logic here? This is what normally happens. And it's the two wide players forward that drop back in the midfield.
Against Arsenal, there is no way at some point you won't need to come all the way back.
Sure.
And you must be effective when you do that.
Yeah, but you get my logic, though.
Sorry?
You get my logic, though.
Because I do.
Yeah. Because the wide players are going to have to... Yeah. I think it's less risky him playing in the number 10 than playing out wide left, because he would have to... He would have to defend. I'm talking about defensive wise only, because he would have to defend for the overlap in the back, and we've seen what he does in that regard. He switches off wide when he's marking out wide. He's like a fish out of water. I mean, listen, it's a growing pain that we're going to have to live with him until his football IQ increases.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind tolerating what we need to tolerate with him, but that doesn't mean to say we need to be cavalier with him.
Sure.
And this is not a
Yes.
game for him in either of those positions as a starter, because it's not a game that we are just offensive. We have to look at our defensive abilities. Now, if we had um, a fit Carney or a fit Enzo, if Enzo hadn't played so many games, I mean, such a short turnaround, I could have gambled with him on the left because there are people there, certainly in midfield, that could overlap and maybe protect a bit, but we don't. So we need someone in the 10 position that can do a job offensively and defensively so that the sixes can cover all sides of that midfield, left and right.
What do Arsenal usually play? They play a 4-3-3, don't they? Usually.
Oh, what?
Doesn't Arsenal usually play a 4-3-3?
I can't say I know, to be honest. I'd be lying if I said I knew.
Yeah, I could be wrong also. Let me have a look. Let's have a look what Arsenal normally do. I don't know. It's any chance that you think Badiashile starts today?
That's a good question. What you mean because of the turnaround for Thiago? I think
Yeah.
Thiago will be all right. When I heard him say, look, he felt good that he could have gone into extra time, that tells me that his fitness is up. And he has done it before, despite his age. The problem we have is that he's going to need protecting. Would the workload be too much for Chalobah, who did it against City? I don't know. This is where the manager earns his money, isn't it? He has to make a decision, and he has to decide whether Badiashile, who you and I both know is a bozo moment waiting to happen, is the person in the left centre back, or Thiago, who is less likely. He has a few bozo moments, especially when he's played back to back and he's kind of overplayed, but he's less likely to do that. The only thing you have to tolerate with him is that he can be rather slow and ponderous. Now, he wasn't that way against City. I'm not sure why. He seemed to move the ball quite quickly. And one thing's for sure, against Arsenal, he will definitely have to move the ball quickly.
I don't know. They do play a 4-3-3, by the way. There's a possibility that we could try to match them also.
Oh, how? We don't have the quality at the moment. Look, it's tough. I wish Pochettino was able to be pragmatic. I would feel so much better if he was, because I would say, okay, try and hit them on the counter, because I think they're a little bit vulnerable that way. I didn't watch their game. I don't watch the Champions League right now without Chelsea, although now all the English teams are out. I think I'll watch the semi-finals and so on. That's how embittered the media has made me. But
You there, Bobby?
I noticed, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, sir.
All right, because I know I went through a blind spot. I noticed that Bayern, although their goal didn't come from a sort of fast break, it was really quite a decent goal. I think it was either a bullet header or a bullet shot or something. But I noticed that where they had most joy was in the turnover of the game. And, they have the quality of players to do that. But Arsenal could be affected that way, because as good as they are defensively, I find, just like with anybody, if somebody's attacking you and you've got to turn after coming up forward, because they do they press high quite a lot and press in numbers quite a lot. If you have to turn and you've got deadly attackers, that causes them problems. Now, are we capable of doing that? A little bit. But the one thing is that if Pochettino was able to be pragmatic, dare I say this, he has a better chance of playing for a draw if that's in the offing, especially in the later part of the game.
Do we have the personnel though to park the bus? I don't think we do.
No. We just have to play our game.
Yeah.
And just make sure that you put as much of the personnel, the right personnel, there that will help you play your own game. That's why I keep thinking Cassidy. If Cassidy can be up to much, it would help us immensely. If he has it all within him to start, to give us time to then bring Carney off the bench, that would be very helpful tonight. Very helpful. But, we're wishing.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't. I would like him to, though, because I think out of all the youngsters that we have in our squad, I think he's more likely to be the one that is more successful, that comes through the ranks and succeeds.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. As an outsider, people like Carney, I don't look at as an outsider. He's pretty much a slam dunk. But people like Cassidy or, Santos, etc., all of them, the really young ones on the outside, I think he has the best opportunity. He looks like the real deal to me. But who's to say, I've been wrong before. So
yeah, I was of that thought until when he came on, who was it he came off? Everton. And I was like, crikey, this guy is like, he can't move. I don't know, it wasn't much time.
I didn't really notice it that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I did. I pick up on things like that. And, there wasn't much time, but I was like, crikey, move. You're a kid. You should be full of beans. You know what I mean? Like, remember when Alfie Gilchrist first came on, my goodness, he was like a bull in a china shop. He was everywhere, and all the youngsters, Mudryk, when he came on at Liverpool, you just see that energy. But with Cassidy, it was bland. And I'm just hoping that that's not his game. I'm really hoping, because if he doesn't have a bit of pace about him, well, forget the Premier League.
Yeah.
He's got, and I would like to think it's not the case.
Yeah, so would I. So, listen, Bobby, it looks like you're going somewhere. So I actually need to be on my way also. But I want to thank you, as always, Olbeen, and everyone in the chat for following. Thanks to Coach, as always, for having this platform, gentlemen. Bobby, always a pleasure, sir. And maybe we'll talk tonight. Mitchie's got a show tonight. So
yeah, I'll try and target that. Thank you. You're a good host. I think we need to have you open a platform somewhere.
I wouldn't go that far, Olbeen. I'm about as popular as, I don't know, the Black Plague.
You'll pull a crowd for sure. Anyway,
so
always
the
a
actress
pleasure.
to the bishop.
Always a pleasure, Roger.
Likewise,
Bad thing
sir.
is, we didn't read out any of the chat. We must be frustrating for them.
Sorry, chaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks to everyone, and hope everyone enjoys the game tonight. So thank you, everybody, and good night.
Good night. See you, Roger.
Bye, sir.